All right, cool. First time using the timer.
Yes, sir.
I'm guessing Joey does that all the time. Then you said he.
Yeah, he always does that.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know about how to do it until Spark showed me.
Yeah, I had no idea how to do that stuff, man.
Cool. Let me get us wide angled here. There we go.
There we go.
Cool. All right, man. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for doing this.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we got Sith Lordly here right now. I don't know how many people are going to jump in at 3 o'clock, especially for this, but who cares? Who knows? Who cares? I'm here for as long as you got, so we can get into some stuff later. But somebody else did pop in. I don't know who. I bet Lewis is going to pop in. Shadow Rabbit. I bet
yeah.
I was just texting with him like an hour ago.
Sweet. Yeah, Lewis made me a freaking sweet ASM 361 clay figure. So yeah.
No, that's All Strands, kid. What are you talking about? I don't know if you saw in the chat the other night, but whenever Johnny was talking about you guys growing up, I said what? I said that Kid Collector's going to grow up to look like All Strands.
Yes.
How old are you anyway?
Are pretty sick, dude. So I wouldn't be too mad about that.
Yeah, how old are you guys anyway? Like, I don't even know. Like,
I think Wes is like 17, Joey's 16, and I'm 14.
Oh, whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa, I didn't realize that, man. Well, you're well on your way, man, in the investing world.
Yep.
So that's good. Keep it going.
Will do.
Yeah, so anyway, for those of you that are tuning in, dropping in, whatever, today we're going to talk about missing 411, which if you don't know what that is, it is a conspiracy theory. The subject we're going to get into, but the reason why we're doing this stream is about a week ago. Actually, it might have been 2 weeks now. I don't remember.
Yeah, because I think it was on a Spine Tick stream.
No, it was on Sparks' show.
Oh,
because Sparks was doing FOC, and he was describing a book that sounded like Missing 411.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And like when I typed that, like Kid also said the same thing. Like he said something Missing 411. And I'm like, oh man. And then we started talking about it a little bit, and we realized we both knew a lot about it, but no one else did, to our surprise.
Yeah.
Like, no one else knew what we were talking about. So we figured we'd make a dedicated show, talk about Missing 411.
Heck yeah.
And then we'll just talk about whatever after that trails off.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, I want to shout out to Kid Collector here. He's a member of the Power Pack. If you guys watch me but don't watch him, I don't know how that's possible. They've got a show on Sundays. What time are you going live now? It's been all over.
5:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Right on. I know there was one day you guys were like at 1 p.m. or something. But.
Yeah, that was like an impromptu thing, snow day thing.
Yeah, right on. Watch them. They're good. Very good. Last night's show was amazing.
Last night's show was freaking hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, like there was some really, really funny stuff going on at the time. Yeah. So check them out. But we are going to talk about Missing 411. So the way I like to do these, I like to throw the subject to the guests first, and then I'll talk after that. So tell me everything that you know off the top of your head about Missing 411.
Man, off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's a conspiracy theory where all these people go missing in these national forests, and it's unexplainable events, unexplainable things that are found, where they're found, if they're found, and it's really actually really interesting to me. So that's all I got.
That's all you got? Do you have any specific 411 stories that you know about?
There is one that really stuck out to me. It was, I have it in my notes somewhere. It was about this boy, and it was freaking scary, man. Here it is. Dennis Martin, okay? I got this whole thing written out. In 1969, Dennis Martin was at Smoky Mountains National Park with his grandfather, father, and his brother. They camped out for one night, and the next morning, a man and his children asked them if they wanted to play hide and seek. They agreed, and so they all jumped out, all the children. When the game was over, they all jumped out. And the only one that didn't jump out was actually Dennis. And he was gone. He was nowhere to be found. His father ran 2 miles looking for him, trying to find him, yelling, calling out his name. And there was actually another family there that was looking for bears. And they reported hearing a scream and seeing a thing in the distance. They reported it as a wild, hairy man thing, dodging between trees and dodging behind cover while having something carrying over his shoulder. So that really stood out to me. that scared me crap, man. But
that's scary, man. I got a bunch of stories like that I know about missing 411 that are scary. Like, do you know about Dogman?
No.
So it's kind of like Bigfoot. Everybody knows Bigfoot, so I don't think we really need to get it. But like the Dogman stories are like all over the place. They're basically like what you would think of as like a kind of like a werewolf, but basically it's just in that form all the time. There's no human component.
Oh, wow.
And it just, there's a Reddit story I saw like a year ago where this guy was saying that they go to him and his friends, whatever, go to, I guess his friends, family, that's what it was. They go to this area up in Alaska. I guess we'll have to ask Aegis about this.
We'll have to ask Wes and Aegis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Wes is in Alaska.
Yeah, they ask about
Canada. Jesus, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but he's probably been in areas similar to this. Because but he's in Ontario. But anyway, like so they're up in Alaska, like there's this area, it's like mostly wooded and there's a small town there. And he was saying like all these really weird things. Like for one, people in the town acted really, really strangely when this noise was going off. Like there was a noise that was coming from this place in the woods that he said was like a military installation. And he said that the noise would go off and everybody in the town would act weird when the noise would go off. And then he's talking about how they were fishing or hunting or something. I don't remember. And they straight up saw like a dog man like moving. And they came across this gigantic cage. And when they said giant cage, they mean he was saying like, we're talking like a third of a city block. Like something lived in that cage, but the door was open on it. And they were saying that they thought that the dog man like was housed there.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's one thing but that's going a little bit too far off the edge there. We want to get back to the missing 411.
Terrifying.
Yeah, it is related to missing 411. Yeah. Wesley does know some stories, I'm sure. But first with missing 411 thing that comes to mind is the stories where there's people that go missing and there'll be like this massive search, right?
Yep.
Filming the whole place and there'll be no sign of them.
No.
And then
there's usually correlations. Like sometimes they'll find only a sock or only a shoe of that person, like impossible reaches, like places to get to.
I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
They would find stuff after fact in already combed areas. Now, here's the really weird part. Some of the stuff that has been found has been weathered longer than the time that they would have been missing. Like, let's say the person was dead, or not dead, but missing. And they looked for 3 weeks, nothing. Then they find them, and then they find all of the stuff that person had, but it had aged 20 years.
Yeah.
In 3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really weird like that. And then there's the story of the guy. It was an old guy. He was a hunter. And I guess his sons or whatever wanted to take him out for one last hunting trip before he was going to get taken to like a care facility.
Oh.
So he could sit in a chair and he could shoot and everything. And he was still lucid. But he was his legs were going out and he was having a hard time getting around. Well, they sat him in this chair and they went to go set up a deer stand or something like that. And they come back and he's gone.
Ooh.
And what's weird about it is not only was he gone, but there was no signs of struggle and he didn't fire a shot. Wow. And they said that he was lucid and if something was coming to get him, he would have fired a shot before.
Yeah, he would have done something.
Yeah, so there's that. And then the other one, you mentioned about they find something was like, let's say someone goes missing in, we'll say they go missing in Minnesota. They go missing in the woods in Minnesota and they find one shoe and one sock.
Yep.
And then like 6 months later, the other shoe and sock will wash up on the beach. And
other far places, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's also stories about like in searches, the dogs will get scared and they won't go anywhere and they'll just stop searching.
Yep.
And there's stories like to your point where like it's weathering. There's like articles of clothing, shoes, socks, shirts that have been perfectly preserved. Nothing has done to them. Like nothing. It's perfect. It's found perfect. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. There's another one though that they what was I thinking of? There's a lot of it. There's so much material out there. It's unreal. But people say Bigfoot, they say aliens, they say government stuff, all this kind of stuff. But like, I think the most interesting ones are the ones that involve some kind of time vortex or some kind of
like a paradox almost.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like it really, and then the people that have turned back up. You know about that, right? About the people that have turned up that they don't qualify.
I know of one story of this child that turned back up, and he was missing for I think a couple of days, and they had this whole search, and he turned up out of nowhere, and he was telling his father about that a bear, like some sort of creature, like a bear woman, he said, that was taking care of him.
Yeah.
So that's the only story I know.
Well, I've heard a couple. It's been a while since I've heard any of this stuff, so I can't give you details. But I heard a couple where they would say that, okay, the person would go missing, and let's say they're gone for 10 days. All right. Everyone's looking for them. 10 days, nothing, right? And then all of a sudden, this person will show back up at their house. And a wife or a parent or something like that will be like, oh my God, where have you been? And for that person, only 1 day has gone by.
There's a story I have.
Okay.
That this guy was, let me see. It's all the way up here.
Sure, translate into which.
Oh, what the heck? Sierra went off.
While he's looking, I want to say, Wesley, yeah, that is a deep hole, man. You're talking like 8 generations of Pokemon, or maybe more than 8 now.
Yeah. There it is. Okay. So there was a case, Stephen Kubachi. In February 1977, a 24-year-old man, Stephen Kubachi, was cross-country skiing through a snow near Lake Michigan. Once he reached the edge of the lake, he took his skis off to sit down and rest. When he got up to leave, his own tracks were gone and became lost. The last thing he remembered was walking through snow, feeling numb and exhausted, and he blacked out. In the blink of an eye, it was spring. He was laying in a grassy field in the middle of a forest, wearing clothes that weren't his. Sitting next to him was a stranger's backpack containing running shoes and glasses that did not belong to him either. He hiked to the nearest town and asked a local resident where he was. They told him he was in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, 700 miles away from where he was skiing. His aunt and father lived in Pittsfield.
So if you're getting into stuff that goes beyond missing 411,
he was gone for 14 months.
Yeah, that qualifies as missing 411, but you're getting into stuff that goes beyond that. Like, one of the things that I remember hearing was about there was a guy that went missing on this street in New York, in like this, I think the 70s. And people were doing research to try to figure out what happened to him. And they found a story going back to, I think, the 1920s or 30s, where a guy supposedly right in front of public just appeared out of thin air and got hit by a car.
Oh, wow.
So like 50 years earlier, there was a story about that happening.
A correlation?
Yeah. Same spot.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, Comics Talk Weekly.
What's up, Phil?
What's up, man? Thanks for dropping in. And yeah, Wesley, the thing about the Loch Ness Monster dinosaur, well, that's going a little far off from missing 411. But I totally believe that there could be something in Loch Ness, because a long time ago there was a documentary done where they took a submarine down there and they showed these massive caverns and how many caverns there actually are. And many of these caverns turn into like, what do you call them? What are they called? Where it's like you go under the water and you come back up. I can't think of grottos.
Oh, or is it like open space, like almost a cave?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
So they would go in there and they showed how they spent like 2 weeks just going into these things, and they only went to like 10 or 12 of them in 2 weeks, and there were thousands of them.
Wow.
So like the resources and the time it would take, to do them all. So there could totally be a creature like that living down there.
Yeah.
But other missing 411 things. Well, this isn't. Well, I guess it's just kind of missing 411. I listen to every now and again on Sunday. There's a radio show called Gun Talk, and I was listening to it one time a few months ago, and there was this story where I guess this Canadian Mountie went missing, and like, I don't know, couple years later or 6 months later, something like it was significant time after he went missing. They found a bear skull that had 5 shots in the roof of its mouth that matched the caliber weapon that the Mountie was carrying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I think that's really it. They didn't find anything else. They didn't find a gun. They didn't find any other ammo. They just found a bear skull, 5 shots in the roof of it. This thing was massive. Like wow. It would have been up on top of it. He would have been like, bam, bam.
That's
yeah.
I know one case where this man was an avid hunter and he knew this area like the back of his hand. And him and his buddy went hunting, and they were driving along the trail going to the campsite, and all of a sudden he saw a deer. So it was like a huge game deer. So he got out of the car and he shot it, and he didn't get a kill shot, so it just started taking off. So he took after it. And his friend explained that as soon as he took off after it, a heavy fog came in, covered the area, and this guy was never to be seen again.
So I've heard stories like that, except for when the deer gets shot, it turns around, stands up on its hind legs, and starts running toward them.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would just stand there frozen with fear if that thing came running at me.
There's stories of people driving on the highway and seeing something like that running next to the car, like at full speed, like a hind leg deer like that.
That's almost like a Skinwalker or a Wendigo.
Yep, Wendigos. Yep.
Yeah.
So actually, you know Skinwalker Ranch?
Yes.
I went there earlier this year. Wow. I didn't go on the ranch. Okay, for all legal purposes, I did not trespass. Okay, because I really didn't. But my friend and I were taking a road trip over the summer, and we actually went and saw Sith Lordley on this trip. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, second time I've met him in person, but yeah, but midway through that trip, we were up in Colorado, and this is a great story, man. We were in Colorado, and we were at this little pizza place, because like the way I like to travel, if you go back to my YouTube channel, watch old travel videos, you'll see what I like to do. I wing it when I go, right? Me and my wife, we backpacked Asia for 6 months with no real plan. But my friend and I, it was just me and him. My wife stayed here for this one. We went out for 11 days, and we drove from Indiana to California and then back, but we came a different way back than we went. But at the end of our second day out, we were in Colorado, and we were eating at this pizza place. And I was like, where can we go? What can we do? What we got here? So I'm just looking on my phone, and I started thinking about Skinwalker Ranch. I'm like,
oh, God.
I wonder how close I am to Skinwalker Ranch. Turned out I was 3.5 hours away, because it's in Utah. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, we can get there. Like the sun was about to go down when we were going to finish our pizza. I'm like, we can get there by midnight. So we just decided to start driving, and we kept going and going until we got to Skinwalker Ranch. Now, when you get there, man, you pull up this road, and there's houses all along this road. And you get to this big entryway. It's like a metal gate, and there's a sign that says, no trespassing. Mm-hmm. And there's a camera looking at you, and the monitor's right there so you can see yourself pull up. And
that's trippy.
And it says, don't even park there. Like, just so I had to immediately U-turn and leave.
Oh, wow.
So I decided, okay, well, we're at least going to drive completely around the ranch. So we did a full circle around the ranch. So we came back. I got to say, there is an air of weird feeling out there. It is very, very spooky. And 2 other creepy things happened.
Oh, boy.
So we decided that, hey, we were going to hike this trail called Lake Mary Trail the next day, which was in like central Utah. So we just figured we would drive as far as we could from Skinwalker Ranch to Lake Mary to get there. Sith, we'll get into Skinwalker Ranch. I can't believe you haven't heard.
Yeah.
We'll get into what it is, but let me finish this. So we're like driving, right? And I'm like, hey, we'll go as far as we can, stay the night, get out, we'll hike the trail the next day. So we're driving, and I started seeing this weird flickering light in the sky. Right. And I'm like, what the hell? And then my friend said it before I did. He's like, man, there's been like this thing floating in the sky for like 20 minutes. Wow. And I'm like, what?
So he saw that thing before you did.
He saw it for like 20 minutes, and it wasn't until right after I noticed it that he mentioned it. And it was like this red twinkly light that was just going up and down like this on the horizon. But here's the thing, man. No matter how far we drove, we never got caught up to this thing. Like we drove for
there are a lot of UFO sightings there, man.
Yeah, so but here's the best part. Have you ever heard of a radio show called Coast to Coast AM?
No.
So it's a radio show that comes on in the middle of the night, and they talk about conspiracy theories and stuff like that. And this is so weird. I tuned it in while we were driving, and hour number 2 of the show, they brought up Skinwalker Ranch on the show. It's not a local thing. It's a nationally syndicated show. So it's not even, they're based out of Las Vegas, not even close to Skinwalker Ranch. So he brings it up on the show, and he starts talking about, and then the reports of weird twinkling lights seen in the sky as people are driving away from the ranch.
Oh my God.
He brought it up on the show that I was listening to while I was driving from Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, man, that Skinwalker Ranch, there's a main thing that a witch cursed the lands because all the settlers were coming in and they were taking the ranch from the natives.
Yeah.
So they cursed the land.
Yeah.
It's just...
So Chinmo, what's up? I appreciate you coming and drop by this random one-off chat I'm doing here. But to answer Sith Lordly's thing about Skinwalker Ranch, essentially it's this gigantic ranch out in Utah that has been sold several times in the last 100 years. And there are reports of every single thing you can imagine. UFOs, Bigfoot, Dogman, Skinwalkers, which if you don't know what Skinwalkers are, basically think Wendigos, you know.
Dude, Skinwalkers and Wendigos are the thing that scare me most.
Yeah. It's Native American. So the original thing of the Skinwalkers was that these Native Americans believed that if you wanted to live forever, you could take the blood curse or whatever.
Yeah, like the black.
And you would get immortality, but you did so as a Skinwalker.
Yeah.
So like you could be human sometimes, but the Skinwalker creature at other times.
Dude, there's some messed up lore about Skinwalkers that I'm not even sure I can say on this channel.
You can say whatever you want on here. I don't care. What
there's
is
things like the more power you have is the more evil you are. So there's a kill the person you love most. There's I don't even know if I can say it, dude.
Why?
It's
okay. If it's gonna get you in trouble, don't say it.
It's bad, man.
You want to send it to me in the private chat?
Yeah.
Send it to me in the private chat, and I'll determine if it's okay. How you like this, guys? Do we have our first ever can't say it on live stream, so we're gonna hold it off and see? I think that's what's going on here. I've never had someone on this channel say they didn't think they could say it, but I want to see what do you got in
the The more evil actions you do, and that's like the top thing, the more power you have as a Skinwalker.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I get what you're saying. Like, you're not going to get in trouble for saying something like that, but if you don't want to, that's fine. Yeah, but basically what he's saying is, you know, like you just do bad things to good people, and that's how you get power.
Yep.
This was a fun channel. I laughed. It's not so bad, but he doesn't have to say if he doesn't want to. But the Skinwalker thing is crazy as hell. But what else was there about this? Oh, poltergeist. They also people see stuff like that on Skinwalker Ranch. Like there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, man, that Skinwalker Ranch is like that's gotta be like the top. That's gotta be up there with like the top like most activity of like cryptids, poltergeists, like spirits. That's terrifying.
You know what else is really freaky about that place? The police patrol around it. Like when we left, but before we did the full circle, we went to this gas station. I didn't even need gas. I just wanted to wash my window. And there was like a police like SUV like driving around, like seeing what we were up to.
Oh, wow.
And then, like when we did the full circle around, we passed a different police car going the opposite direction in the circle around the ranch. So the police are like actively protecting Skinwalker Ranch. My friend was saying like, what if the cops themselves are Skinwalkers?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, there's reports of people driving in that area or like in the rural areas of the states, and they see this like thing just running right with them, man. Like they're going as fast as they can as the car can, and this thing is just running right beside them.
Yeah,
terrifying.
So there's some weird stuff, man. So that stuff does tie into missing 411. But okay, so I'm gonna spot a channel for you. If you may have seen this. Have you ever heard of Matt Squatch on YouTube?
No.
Since you're into this stuff, you got to check out Matt Squatch. Matt Squatch is like the most like candid, down to earth explainer of things like cryptids.
Ooh.
And what I mean by down to earth is I mean like, okay, so obviously there's a little bit to this that's like out there. Like there's nothing you can't really talk about this stuff without sounding a little crazy, you know? But he says it in such a way, he could read off to you what he claims are absolute facts about Bigfoot and other cryptids, like I'm reading you a grocery list. Like that's how
wow.
how serious
I gotta start watching that. And I also watch a channel called Mathis. Every week they do a podcast called the Chilluminati Podcast, and they talk about all these conspiracy theories. Oh, hi, Cat.
Yep, he's a good boy. What you doing? Anyway, so Matt Squatch, definitely check him out because he will sit there and just point blank just tell like he's got videos where he talks about the reasons why the government would want to keep something like Bigfoot secret, and it made me think differently about why. For example, he was saying, okay, so you got all these national parks, right? And the government is aware that Bigfoot and or other things are out there, but they don't want it to become public knowledge because one, there'd be mass hysteria.
Yep.
Two, it would disrupt both the travel and the logging industry.
Oh.
And the logging industry would require more hazard pay and insurance because if these things are out there and people are going missing all the time from these, you know, so that's some of the stuff he gets into. He has other reasons too, but my boss is actually really into Bigfoot stuff. Like I bought him a Bigfoot mug a couple years ago for Christmas. He's really into that kind of stuff. And he was just mentioning earlier, funny enough, because I told him I was doing the show. He'll probably tune into the rewind. That he was saying earlier that there's this theory that Teddy Roosevelt, you know, is the president that started the national park system, that he created that park system, partially to protect Bigfoot because it was a rare species that was being eliminated.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so there you go with that. But it's I don't know, man, interesting stuff, weird stuff. Yeah. But as far as the missing 411 thing, there's I'm trying to think. You know, I should have done a little bit of research before we got on here. I know you did some.
Yeah, I did a little bit.
But I know there's some other ones that I can't think of right now. I think the most interesting ones are the ones where the people go missing and either show back up or they find tattered and torn stuff that is weathered longer than it could have possibly. Or then there's the ones where I think there's one where a 3-year-old kid went missing and they combed this area. It wasn't a vast area. It wasn't a huge area. It was like town, woods, town. So the kid went missing and they combed the whole thing and they couldn't find it. And then it just showed back up out of the woods.
Who he did?
Yeah.
The kid?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. There was a case of a 3-year-old kid going missing named Jared Atadero. Long story short, these the Christian Singles group took these kids with the permission of their father to go fishing and hiking, but they lost the kid. And in 2003, 2 hikers climbed up a very steep rock face, roughly by 550 feet, where the trail was above the trail where the kid was lost. And they found one child's tooth, a piece of skull, and Jared's clothes, which were fully intact. And they had been taken off his body and turned inside out.
I know this one.
One shoe, which looked brand new, and somehow it was perfectly preserved for those 4 years. Yeah,
that's crazy there. Because I forgot what you're talking about is the opposite of what I just said. Hey, Sparks, what's up, man? Yeah. I can't even believe you're able to get online at this time. Shouldn't you be like teaching or something? Oh, it's President's Day, so I guess you're not.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So like you're talking about the opposite of what I brought up.
Yeah.
Like the people go missing, right? And then like 3 weeks later, they find their stuff and it's weathered. Like the other thing was bones. I forgot to mention that. Bones. Yeah. People would find decomposed bones as if the person had been gone for 20 years.
Yeah.
But they've been dead 3 weeks.
Yep.
Or missing for 3 weeks. But you're talking about the opposite, man, where you're talking about like the shit goes missing. They find it years later and it's like it just
was perfect. Yeah.
Month. Yeah.
And the area where his remains were found were far too difficult for a 3-year-old child to climb. And it would have been an unnecessary difficult location for an adult kidnapper to carry him.
Yeah.
And the locals and the police were saying that it would have been a cougar or a bear attack. But if that were the case, his clothes would have been ripped and covered with blood, and they weren't. So
yeah, that's that. I've heard that exact one before. There's a lot similar to that. That's really crazy stuff, though. But the missing 411 thing, I think it's been being researched now for over 30 years, right? Yeah. The guy who like started doing the research, he found actually he got interested in it because he was doing Bigfoot research back in the early 90s.
I know he has multiple books on it, and there are a couple movies on missing 411.
Might have been the 80s. 80s or 90s. I think it was early 90s. So he was doing Bigfoot research, and he came across this park ranger, and he wanted to start asking him questions about Bigfoot, and he said the guy was super nervous and was like, didn't have time to. He was just trying to get the guy out of the woods.
Ooh. So
like it was like the park personnel knew that he was in an area where she.
Dude, I'm sure they know there's stuff out there.
Yeah.
That's unexplainable. But it's just freaking messed up, man.
We're not going to storm Area 51, Sparks. We're going to storm the Skinwalker Ranch.
Well, God.
No, all right. No, that's not true. I am not going to storm the Skinwalker Ranch. All right? Yeah. I'm going to say this now because, the reason why I'm saying that, Sparks, is because I just got to tell a story about how I've been to Skinwalker Ranch, and there's plenty of signage saying they don't want you to transport.
Oh, no.
So let me make it clear.
There's cameras everywhere.
Kid Kollector and I do not condone raiding Area 51 or Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, we don't want the government coming after us.
Yeah.
And Area 51 is a whole other thing, man. Mm-hmm. That's fricked up too.
So I've never been so close to there. But when I was in Las Vegas earlier this year, same trip, they did have UFO viewing tours you could go on. Like you could go, like there was this lady, no joke. She's on Airbnb. It's crazy. She literally could take you out to this like mesa and give you night vision goggles and show you what UFOs look like.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
My dad was stationed at a base near Area 51 before. What
was your dad? What branch?
Air Force.
Oh, he knows all about UFOs then.
Yeah. he him and his buddy were stationed in, I forget where it was, but I think might have been New Mexico. And they were looking after something on a hilltop. And him and his buddy were starting to like fall asleep, and they saw this huge bright light hovering above them, and it didn't go away for another 5 minutes. And when it went away, it just zoomed off. And he blames it on thinking that they were just delirious because they were about to go sleep. But I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. There's like, about the Navy, of course, releasing stuff recently and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, man, there's so much stuff like that. But a UFO doesn't mean aliens. It just means
unidentified object. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. There's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. There's a crap ton of stuff.
I just invited Sparks if he wants to open his Pokemon cards on here.
Heck yeah.
Because if anybody else jumps, let me just go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and put the code in the chat, so anybody can jump in here with us. Let me try to spell this thing right.
Yeah, we have problems with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna upgrade computers eventually. I don't like my wife's computer, but it works better than mine does for StreamYard for some reason. Let's see. Yeah. So, well, anybody who does jump on here, we'll ask them what they know about.
Yeah.
Well, Sparks doesn't know about it because it was on his show that he said he didn't know.
Yeah.
All right, that's right, isn't it? MFY.
I think it's MFY 2QMB 7AU.
Yep, that's right.
Hopefully.
So Sparks is going to come on here and open up Pokemon cards on a missing 411 screen.
Perfect.
Well, I mean, we've been going 35 minutes. This is
Yeah.
more material than I thought we'd be able to just bring it up like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more stuff I'll think of, but we at least put it out there for people that might be in the comics community or this RPG thing. It's people that go in our circles that don't know what it is. If they check out, maybe they learn a little something. I know Worley learned. He didn't know anything about it. And while we're waiting on Sparks, well, hold on. I got to be here to click it, don't I? Are you allowed to bring people on stream? No, I have to be the one who brings them. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I was gonna say, I need to go get a drink, but I'll wait till Sparks comes. And then he's probably like taking off his lab coat or whatever right now.
Is he a teacher?
Yeah, he teaches like pharmacy stuff, I think.
Oh.
He's like a college professor. Yep. So, yeah. So you're like, are you you're off of school today because of President's Day?
Yeah.
But are
I'm
you
pretty sure.
going to school?
What?
Are you going to a physical building?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
just returned to school, I think 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Phil's handbook arrived today. So did Lewis.
Is that for D&D?
Yep.
Oh.
So did Lewis's handbook. And also Sparks and Caroline got theirs yesterday. Everybody's getting so
Sparks.
D&D.
You're muted. You're muted.
Are you
You're
muted?
muted.
All right, I'm going to go get a drink.
He's muted still.
I didn't mute him.
Poor Sparks. There we go.
Ah, finally.
There we go. What's up?
I have no
Sparks?
idea. I had to plug in and unplug my mic. Not much. How you guys?
Oh, man. Well, we
Pretty
did
good, just chilling.
35 minutes worth of
411.
talking.
It
Or
almost
ironically in the U.S. That's hilarious.
it almost snowed here.
Dude,
Oh, almost?
you know how
Where
much
are you?
snow we're getting here?
I'm in New Orleans.
Oh,
I know, but yeah.
It doesn't snow here.
You have
It-
no idea. Johnny snowed in.
It
yeah,
was like,
Texas is bad.
yeah.
Johnny's
I
in
think
Texas.
they're like several million without power or something.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you got some Pokemon cards to open up, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, quick shout out. Anybody who might be watching this or watching the rewind, PSA tendencies, Sith Lordly.
I'll jump
Go
out.
check it out on YouTube. It's a card opening show. Like they're hard to find right now, but if you get on there, you can open up some packs with them.
So I guess there's four cards in these, and they give you a frame to display the cards.
Oh,
It's weird. So let's see. We got Bulbasaur,
Nice.
that's the first Bulbasaur I've seen somebody get.
Chespin,
Everybody gets that one.
Mudkip.
Oh yeah,
God. And there's shiny
Aw.
Snivy.
nice.
Snivy? I don't know. Hollow. I think I assume there's like what, one hollow per pack or something?
Yes, there's one
Probably.
hollow per pack. And if you like Sith, you get a rare one.
Oh, yeah.
Or I'll probably get like the same pack. I
don't
decided
think
not
it's
to look this time because I knew that when I opened this one, the hollow was at the front, so I moved it to the back. So we got Trico,
Oh, nice. Trico's not. I actually really like Trico.
Squirtle.
Nice.
Aw.
Yes. I don't know where I'm even aiming these right now. Totodile.
Wow,
All right.
awesome. I like
Is this like all starter Pokemon? Like,
looks like it.
There is.
and
Oh,
Turtwig Hollow.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Might have to get some more.
Yeah, that's a pretty good arrangement there.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's got if you look on the where is it there? Oh.
Yeah, there you go, man. Send Sith Lordly your hollows, and he'll send you more books to throw up.
I'll send the hollows for ASM 50.
Hey, there's 7 people watching now.
This is the Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
We're in the bottom.
Missing 411, but we exhausted me and kids' knowledge of that.
Yeah.
The bottom corner has like a number whatever out of 25. So there's total, I guess, 25 cards.
And by the way, kid, you need to monopolize your name, man. Or not monopolize, but like strategize your name, because you're not gonna be a kid forever.
I've been thinking about that.
But here's the thing: you already have a brand built up. Here's what I suggest. I think you need to add a second D to your name, so it's Kid Collector. It's still Kid Collector, but they won't think, well, this guy is if you're a 30-year-old man on here doing YouTube, like me and Sparks, then they won't be like, well, what's this guy doing claiming he's a kid?
Wasn't there like a basketball player's last name was Kidd? He just pretend that he's collecting that guy's stuff. Man.
Did Sparks' link drop in the chat?
Oh, Sith, awesome. You ordered the player's handbook. I was actually going to ask you if you were going to do that. If you've got yours ordered, then every core member is going to do it.
Let me go grab mine.
What'd you ask, though, kid?
Did my link drop in the chat for Sparks' comics? Sub to his channel?
I don't see it.
Oh, crap.
But no, I don't see it. Awesome, man. Everybody's got their books. But no, but I want to tell you something.
Oh, never mind. I can't drop a link.
Not a wrench.
Yep.
Oh, I'll try to pull one up for
Found a Doyle also.
Oh.
A rare Doyle? No. So check this out. So the reason why I'm saying the thing about the kid, you can still be kid, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
Think of the future. Like, so there's a wrestler that I like. His name is Jungle Boy. Okay. And awesome. So Jungle Boy is like in his early 20s now. So he's not going to be Jungle Boy forever, right?
Yeah.
Well, the commentators started calling him Jungle Jack because his real name is Jack Perry. He's actually Luke Perry, the actor. If you guys know who that is, he's Luke Perry's son.
Oh.
And but he's still Jungle Boy. But as he gets older, when it's not going to make sense for him to be, if he's 35 or 40, he can't be Jungle Boy, right?
Yeah.
But they'll already know that he's Jungle Jack or Jungle Jack Perry or Jungle Boy Jack.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've been thinking about that lately.
Yeah, so you can stay kid, but maybe just add something else.
So do you need a handbook to play D&D?
You don't need it, but if you're going to play a longer campaign and get really into it, make your own characters, everyone should have the handbook at least. I'll go grab my books.
The art in this is just incredible.
Isn't it amazing?
I love that.
Sparks, you are holding the pinnacle of 45 years worth of playtesting, because the reason they keep doing different editions is to improve the game better and better.
What are you doing, Doyle?
Yeah, Porsche was up here a minute ago poking around, but let me I'm gonna go grab my D&D books.
Dang, that thing's expensive. $50.
$50. No, you don't have to pay that much.
I got this on Amazon, $30.
I got mine for like I think it was $14.15 on a Christmas sale. So Wesley is going to be joining us for our Star Wars. He's our guest this week. We're going to have some fun with that.
That's going to be awesome to see him hop on there.
Wes, hey, Six Face. I don't think I've ever seen you on one of my streams.
Hey, what's going on, Sid?
Nice, man.
And Phil's there. Free.
So, Phil's talking about the free character sheet. They offer character sheets for free. I actually just sent Jeremy earlier, Sparks. I sent Sparks earlier the PDF. That's the official PDF. That's not like stealing.
Yeah.
Wizards of the Coast is so awesome that they realized a couple years ago that they could give the base game away completely for free, and people would still buy stuff because it's this damn good. It's established. People know what D&D is. But if you want to go play the all that stuff, it's all available for free on their website. But
That's pretty
it's my belief that everyone who's serious about a campaign should get that book at minimum.
Guys, I'll be right back.
You're good.
I'm good. So this is what you sent me PDF?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I haven't opened it yet. I saw you sent the email. I just haven't gotten to.
Yeah, and you can print off as many copies as you want.
Sweet.
It's super cool. So yeah, so tomorrow, me and Nola, we're gonna go through all that. There's free PDFs. Yeah, there are, but are they legally free, Wesley? I'm talking about the stuff that Wizards of the Coast gives out, because here's Wizards of the Coast. Here's their thought on it, right? D&D has been around forever. Almost everyone at least knows what it is. They are so confident in their product, they will give the basic stuff away for free because they know that you will still go out and buy books. Like I'm gonna go grab my. Well, I don't want to leave you here on my channel box. Oh, wait till
you don't want to leave me unattended. No, I mean because they also have like the figures and stuff, right? Like the miniatures. So I know you're gonna buy that stuff too.
You can do that. See, we talked about that before. Sith has a ton of miniatures, and I think miniatures are cool for their own thing. But I personally don't like using miniatures in my games. I have allowed players in person with a grid because I'll get the grid out to you. I have allowed players to use a miniature of their choosing as a marker for where they're at in the game.
Right.
I'm not going to do the whole Wesley's just now acknowledging the legality of that. I'm not going to do the whole thing of like, oh, well, we fought kobolds last week. This week we're fighting goblins. I better go pick up some more miniatures. Like I am not cool with that. Like,
yeah. Anyone that I've known that's played, I feel like ends up doing miniatures as a way to like represent where they are in the game, but not like we need to have 600 goblins in the dungeon and there's 600 figures.
My first Star Wars campaign where I was a player, we actually used Star Wars Legos to signify our characters.
Nice.
So yeah, dude, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with miniatures. I think they're cool. My friend that also DMs, he paints his own miniatures. But with Xerox a car, yes, I would. God damn it!
See,
or read Sith's comment.
It's I saw that, but here's the thing, man. I'm only 5 years older than Jeremy. Like, I guess Kid could be my.
Well, and they didn't want to. they didn't even want to.
And a mature 14-year-old at that, so that's good.
Right,
but man. That's totally cool. Maps are fine, all that kind of stuff. But I personally, the way I DM, I want as little to take away from the theater of mind as possible. And in games that I've seen or that I've been a part of, where there's a really rigid system, where it's like you're looking at a top-down view on a map of like a specific building, where there's like the couch is over here and there's a window here. It makes the theater of the mind smaller. And I personally don't like that experience in my games, so I don't run games that way. Look at the Star Wars ones we've done. We didn't have any kind of visual at all, but you see it your own way. And here's the thing: you see things a way that Caroline doesn't see. Caroline sees things that Nola doesn't see. Nola sees things that and it's your own thing.
Yeah, everyone's seeing it differently and able to pick up ideas and run with those.
So Six Face Comics, I hope you at least understand where I'm coming from with it. I'm not trying to diss on maps and all that kind of stuff because they have their place in the game. But I think theater of the mind is first and foremost what this is good about. You didn't have miniatures and maps when you're sitting around the campfire telling stories, But I'm going to go get the grid and I'll show you the grid. I'll show you what I do like. I don't know where Kid is. He straight up is gone.
Yeah, he'll be back. I would say the grid makes sense because that keeps track of like it's easier to figure out where people are in relation to other things going on, and that helps you as the DM know, okay, you're here, you can do this or you can't do that. Like that makes sense.
Yes, CTW just said that he'd argue the price of the handbook is worth it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that if you're going to support Wizards of the Coast, at minimum, get that book. Anything else, we'll get. I'll go grab my book as soon as he gets back. But nothing is a required thing. I mean, look how much we've done with the Star Wars stuff I've been running. You know,
I like how this is like a different texture than
it's embossed.
Yeah, it's glossed here. It's like the more matte kind of a little bit of texture too.
It's a high quality book, man. High quality pages.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. The only thing is, in that version there, I should warn you. I know you're not going to do this, but I'm going to tell everybody if they decide to become a ranger, there's a better version of a ranger and another supplement that they added because they realized how broken the ranger was in this. Because basically the way they made rangers was you might as well just be a fighter that like shoots a bow and arrow and is on a mounted thing. So they improved the ranger later on and made it better.
Nice.
So
and then you can buy the supplement to
well, you don't have to because I think that stuff's free. There's a lot of stuff you would be amazed how much is free.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, that should be.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, if they're like, hey, we messed up, we want to make this better.
D&D Beyond is a thing. I'm not a part of D&D Beyond, but it has a lot of stuff like that.
That's probably where I'm ending up.
Yeah. Hey, kids back. Hey,
I gotta read.
Parks. I'm gonna go grab my books.
All right.
So I went to Walmart today to try to find. There's supposed to be the Star Wars High Republic pack. It's not out in my store yet, but I ended up finding this.
Oh man! Anything else from that wave?
They had the Peter B. Parker there, and I think they had the Prowler.
Nice.
But I just wanted Spider-Gwen.
That's dope.
And you get Spider-Ham in it.
Yeah, and Spider-Ham. Yeah, I got this Marvel Legends the other day.
I don't ever buy these. Oh wow.
Yeah, this is Toxin.
Awesome. Was that a Build-A-Figure?
No, this is it's a monster figure.
Dang.
Yeah, it was pretty dope.
Yeah. No, I never buy Marvel Legends. This is literally the second that I've.
Yep, that's the second two that I have.
The other one is Rocket and Groot. Baby Groot, like tiny baby Groot. Yeah. Over yonder. But no, this is really cool. If you end up deciding you want to get into D&D.
Yeah, I'll probably grab it off of Amazon for it's $35.
When I bought it, it was on sale, but then it also said there was like a $6 off coupon.
Oh. So
I was like, okay. And then with tax and Prime shipping, it was $30.
Dang.
It's like, all right, can't beat that. I was gonna buy it on LCS, but it was gonna be $50 there probably. Because I mean that's the cover price, so why would they not?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely have to grab that.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Thinking of leaning heavily into the Quidditch thing and becoming a wizard. And me and Danny have already been talking about some ideas that we could do with that. To be like,
what are you talking about? I'm just not getting my stuff over here.
If I become a wizard, what possibly we could lean into that Quidditch thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys a bunch of stuff. I went and got all my D&D stuff out.
Jeez.
Which isn't like a lot. It's mostly books and a few. Because that's the thing. That's another thing about the figurines is what I like about D&D is how little material there actually is.
Do you need a figurine?
No. Not at all.
Okay.
I don't have any figurines.
This will be my figurine.
Gwynum?
Spider-Man.
I guess is that Spider-Gwen or is it Gwynum? Can't even tell.
It's just Spider-Gwen.
Okay, I thought it was Gwynum for a second.
I mean, it says Gwen Stacy, but this is from the movie.
This is what I use right here, and Sith like this. If we were playing in person, this is a mat here. It's called a battle mat. This is $20 and it lasts forever. And it's washable. You could just use dry erase. Not dry. You don't want to use dry erase. You want to use like oil-based marker, and it just wipes right out. So what I'll do is I'll sit there with this, and I'll usually start a session out with a bunch of things. I showed you the other side. That's like the honeycomb side. But
Oh.
I have used honeycomb for certain things. It's good for to me, this is good for caves and mountains and stuff like that. But this is the main side. This is for building in towns.
Wow.
Forests, roads.
That's dope.
So what
Here, blow yourself up for a second. Pause.
Huh?
Blow yourself up for a second.
Oh yeah, sure, I'll do that. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you do that? Like this?
Yeah, there we go.
Highlight that guy.
So there's even bigger ones than this, but to me, this is all I need. I can roll it up and take it with me to a game. And yeah, you can do pretty much everything. So sometimes I'll start a session out with pre-drawn stuff on here.
Oh, so for the D&D you guys are doing, are you guys doing it are you guys going to use the map?
So that would be really hard to do, but me and Phil are coming up with ways. We've talked a little bit about. I think Phil, if you're still here, didn't you say something about you were going to experiment to see some way you might project some things?
Oh,
And if you could, you might be my guy. I could throw some stuff to. If I were to pre-make some maps, maybe we could throw that over to Phil, and Phil could pull it up, and then we could just show where we're at by marking. But if you look on your character sheet, it shows the speed at which you travel, right? You see that on there?
what?
Oh,
You don't have that in front of you anymore, probably, but
hold on. In the back.
yeah.
First page, maybe.
Yeah, there's a box that says speed.
Yes.
So let's say your character moves at a speed of 20. We'll just say that.
That box.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say your character moves at a speed of 20, right? Well,
Yes.
20 would be how many feet you can move per turn.
Oh,
So we would just mark that. You see what I'm saying? So you'd be here. It's well, I can move over here and that, 1, 2, 3, whatever. We'll say each one of these is supposed to be, I guess, 5. So you're okay, 5, 10, 15, 20. That's as far as you can move. So, okay, so Phil says if we get a choice, I can play a rogue. Yeah, you are absolutely getting a choice. This is not going to be like my pre-generated Star Wars stuff where I basically give your character background and you fill up the blank. You were going to 100% do it. And a rogue would be great because out of the people I've talked to, no one is thinking of doing a rogue.
what is a rogue, or who is Rogue from the comics?
No.
It's a class. Hold on. I had it a second
The
ago.
best example of a rogue would be did you watch our Star Wars stream on Friday?
Yeah.
Okay. Caroline's character is a rogue.
Oh, the one that almost took everyone out.
What?
The one that almost took everyone out.
Yeah. She was very stealthy and sniper-like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, it has a good picture of a rogue being stealthy in here.
Is there like a knight?
No.
To me, in my D&D sessions, these are invaluable.
Where are those?
Index cards. I use this.
Oh, that's dope.
I use this more than any other tool in D&D.
Wow.
You use them, or we need them also?
No, you won't need these at all.
Okay.
Your equivalent will be an Instagram message because when I play in person, I fill out things these and I hand them to people. Like, for example, let's say we were playing this in person. You would get a card where on the blank side, it would say Jeremy's secret number 1. And then you flip it over and it'll actually have a secret that only he knows.
Oh.
But I use these also for monster cards and stuff too. Like if something's attacking you, I'll have stuff from the monster manual pre-written on here. Like how many are out there. Like let's say you're getting attacked by 5 goblins. I'll just have stats. I'll have goblin, I'll have his stats, and then I'll have 5 tally marks over here, and I'll be able to keep damage of them and everything.
That's freaking dope.
So there's that. Now I got some more stuff to show you. Then I'll pull up the books. Now, what was it? Was it Six Face? Yeah, Six Face. You were talking about maps and stuff. The one thing I do like that I use occasionally in person are these tiles.
Ooh.
So what's great is
Bless you.
I only have 2 sets. I have forest and city. But basically, I can just do this.
Oh.
Piece them together on a board and create a scenario that way.
Okay.
So typically when I do these, I only do them for a special thing at the beginning of a session. Like
Okay.
if a session starts, I might have something already elaborately planned out, like using this. Like if you look here, I can even turn it this way, and it's like water over a bridge.
Oh. Okay.
So, and then they have things on the back of them. Like look here, the sewer system is on the back.
Oh.
Nice.
That's interesting.
Some of these, I'll show you some of these here with the. Check this out. Campfire.
Phil had to scoot.
Oh, later, Phil. So campfire, flip it over, burn out campfire.
Oh. Wow. There's everything.
So yeah, so I do like these, and if I were playing more in person, I would get more of these. But that's about as far as I go from detracting from a theater of the mind. It's never been my thing to do miniatures and maps and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we'll take that out.
So is D&D almost going to be like the Star Wars RPG?
The Star Wars RPG is a system I created that is based off of D&D. Yes.
Okay.
There are Star Wars RPGs, but the one we've been playing is one I made.
Okay.
Yeah, and what we're doing is like a simplified version of D&D.
Yeah,
pretty much. We've started to add.
Oh dang.
We've been adding like elements of real stuff. So like last time we have some stats and leveling up and stuff now.
These are my notes and other people's character sheets from a previous session. I can pull this stuff out. Like for example, I check this out here. Let me grab one of these cards here.
So when we make our character sheet, then would you need a copy of that also so that you can kind of keep track of?
I thought about that. No, because if there's anything I need, you can just hold it up and show me. It'll change so much that it won't be worth doing all that. If there's something I need from you, I'll just look at it. So check this out. Here's a card from a previous battle. Vampire cultist.
Jesus.
So each one of those you see is a different cultist that they kill, and the HP that they
dang.
They all have. Well, these have 33 and these have 23, so there's 5 total. But you can see where I slashed down their health, right?
Yes.
So there was 5 to begin with, and the AC there that stands for armor class. So that's basically like the threshold in which damage they can take. So I had the book open below me that had all the stats on the vampire cultists. So I was able to just draw from that and then mark down their damage from here.
Dang.
There is so much that goes into creating these characters.
I told you that's why you need the book. All right, and let's see. Here's another one. This is a totally different campaign here. Notes from another one.
Jeez. So how do you create a character?
That's what we're going to do tomorrow. Me and Nola are doing a dedicated stream just for that.
And I'm going to be learning and creating at the same time.
Yeah, so there's that. And then there's this, which I won't need much for this campaign. But I have the official Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Dungeon Master screen.
What's a Dungeon Master?
That is like what I am, like how I run the game.
It's like if you've heard us say DM, other than like direct message. The DM is the guy in charge.
So basically, I have this up on the table to stop players from seeing what I'm doing. Like, I don't want them to see what I'm about to pull out. Like, if I'm player cards, if I'm flipping through a specific book, if I'm rolling dice and don't want you to see the dice, or if I'm writing a note for a specific player. So this won't be really used for the online thing, but I will show you this. This particular one, my wife did a bunch of notes for me and laminated them.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
I have extra stuff here that isn't normally on there, and I can flip them over and read the stuff on the back.
Nice.
So like, for example, like I needed a currency converter. Where's that at on here? It's been so long since I even looked at this. Where the hell is that? Well, actually, here's an example. Here's a weather thing. She put a weather grid for me. So I can roll a D6, and whatever number it lands, I choose the weather from.
Nice.
So that's just if you need something. You're trying to think of something off the top of your head. Oh, weapons. That's a good one. I don't know where the currency converter is. The weapons one, though. Take a look at this. This is everything for what you'd find in a shop.
Oh, nice.
It
Like,
shows-
what level you can buy.
That is a lot of notes.
So there's that. Now I'm going to get to the book.
Oh
I'm
boy.
excited about this.
What's that?
I'm excited about this. I want to create my character right now.
DM or the Ringmaster. Kid's mind is being blown. Yeah, you're right, Wesley. It does get complicated at that level. We have 7 people watching. Wow. Okay. So remember, Sparks, I was telling you about the starter kit?
Yeah.
This is the one I told you don't get if you ever decide to DM. It's good. Don't get me wrong. This comes in a starter box called D&D. I think it's just D&D 5th edition starter. And it costs like
80 bucks.
$15, something like that. You get a set of dice. You get this. This book is the only thing that's good about it because there's a lot of stuff in this book that I still use to this day. Like, for example, Cragmaw Castle. I could whip that out any time, and you guys can do it.
Dang.
So even if we don't have a physical map on the board that you're looking at, I can still visualize it. And
Right.
So that's good.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I have this, but with that said, I don't recommend this starter kit unless you're an absolute beginner completely learning on your own. If you're playing with someone else and you decide, hey, I want to become a dungeon master, you want to get the Dnd Essentials Kit, $12 a target.
Oh wow.
And the Dnd Essentials Kit comes with a lot more awesome stuff. It comes with a book like this. It comes with a set of dice, character sheets, maps, like all kind of stuff. Like, it comes with maps that fit that module. But this is a module here that you can play through, and it has the basic rules for the game. These are the kind of maps I like. I like these. I don't like maps where it shows where you're at. Like, I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm here and I moved over here. I'd rather use the grid for that.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Like, hey, where you're going? Like, hey, we're in Neverwinter and we're going to go over here to Cragmaw Castle. I like that for a map.
And it's like, okay, we have to go through this forest here to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you showing more? So I was going to ask about the races and stuff. Like,
yeah, go ahead and ask me some stuff before I pull up these books for you.
If I select my class or whatever, right? Do any of the races have, synergy with certain classes, or is it kind of like do whatever?
Yes. They're minor at the beginning, but they can make a difference as you level up. What's up, kid?
I'm getting the handbook right now.
Are you really?
Yeah.
All right.
The fourth person you need to start getting some royalties.
So I'm going to warn you, kid. We got a lot of people in this game. You can play with us, but I don't think we're going to be able to have this many people going all over.
Yeah, because there's only like 10 in StreamYard.
Yeah, why don't you and Wesley should get your own group going and then we can intersect sometime.
Yeah, I saw a question, is there going to be a power pack game in Wesley?
Oh, heck yes.
Why not? Why don't you three play?
Do that.
Why don't you 3 play, and then I'll guest appear over there, because Wesley's good enough, he can probably DM, and I'll get to play for the page. And then I can have you guys as guests on my show sometimes.
Heck yeah.
I would rather do that than have too many. Like I was telling Sith before when he first asked me to do this, that I don't want to have a massive party. I've seen big games like that fall apart for that reason. Yeah. And
fall apart?
Yeah, I don't mind having 5 or 6 players at a time, or even if like a one-off has 7 or 8. The biggest game I've ever ran had 8 players, and that was fun, but it was only fun for like 1 session. Thankfully, it was only 1 session. But
I assume it gets harder to coordinate everyone being there.
That, and then also think of this, okay? If each player is playing, and we have 6 players, a turn. Not a turn, but you
don't move very far.
You'd only get to play 10 minutes an hour per person.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we had 8 people, you'd now be only playing 8 minutes an hour.
Dang.
Yeah.
And if we had 10 people, you'd be playing 5 minutes an hour.
Jeez. So the more people, the less playing time, right?
Yeah, I have done a session before that was epic with that, but also that lasted 6 hours. So keep that in mind. All right, you had another question, Jeremy, about classes and stuff, because it does matter.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
So I was asking about like the races and the classes, and you're saying so early, maybe not as much, but later on,
it depends. Some of them might say it right out the gate. I don't know it that well. That's a NOLA question.
Okay.
So NOLA is going to be my co-pilot DM. He knows exactly what I'm talking about when I brought this up to him. But
so is he playing too, or is he just
he's playing?
Okay.
Playing.
But he's helping like
co-piloted for me before. He played in it. NOLA will be my guy that I'll coordinate things. He might know things that other players don't know.
Right.
But he won't play with his character as if he knew it. That's called metagaming, by the way. And you want to avoid doing that as much as possible. Like if I say, Caroline, you're going to fall in this ditch over here, but your character is on the other side of a mountain, you need to play your character as if Caroline didn't just fall in that ditch. Like you didn't know it.
Yeah.
You can't be like, I'm going to run over and save Caroline because she's down in the ditch. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't do that.
Right. Right.
So, but there's things that are like unavoidable. It's you can even subconsciously metagame. So an example of metagaming that we've done, I don't mind intentional metagaming. Like, for example, letting Caroline know that you guys were going to show up, and that you could stealth around and try to, that they would have I said like certain things
right.
like that's like a pre-planned thing.
But also,
it can ruin games.
In that situation, her character would have known that we were coming because she heard the ship land or something like that.
Yeah, I mean that or whatever, like different things like that. Let's see. There's a probably better example. I guess earlier on. Well, okay. Lewis turning on his stormtroopers when he showed up. He knew that there was a trigger point that once shit got started, he would turn on his guys, even though he just arrived there. Like that's like, you know what I mean? That's an example of like a pre-planned thing, but like,
yeah.
We might do stuff like that, but we're not gonna. You're not gonna just know things like off the bat. So I'm
right, and then be in a situation where though you know that you can't like.
Yeah.
Well, there were some instances where I think like we all knew Phil was attacked on the ship, right? But our characters didn't know Phil was attacked on the ship.
Yeah, and you can't play it as if you know. I believe Sith or somebody even asked, "Can I go help him?" I'm like, "You don't know. You don't know that it's happening."
Right. Yeah. So I think that's probably a good.
Yeah. What's up, kid? Where'd you go to?
Just got some food.
Oh, right on.
Yep.
This went way different from.
It's a 411.
Let's turn it into D&D.
Yeah.
Well, but we did Pokemon there for a second too.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to show you my books. So I've got what Jeremy has right there. I've got the Player's Handbook. This is the most essential thing. Like if you're going to play more than just if you're just going to play a one-off session here and there, just borrow other people's books or just play without the books, right? Okay. But this is like if you're going to play regularly, go ahead and get it. It is worth it. Then, if you're going to be a dungeon master, this is the most essential dungeon master. Well, actually, no, I take that back. This probably isn't the most essential. This is the most essential dungeon master book, the Monster Manual.
Okay.
And this has everything you can imagine. I bet you Bigfoot's in here. I probably is.
Harry Old Fat Guy's in there?
Yeah. So, like, there's a troll. Right? It's got all the stats on the troll. It's got stuff about him, like where they came from.
Oh, it's Alex.
Alex.
Doomsday Clock.
And it's got things like giant boars, centipedes, frogs, elephants. You name it, man. Giant ape. There you go. I could use the giant ape stats for Bigfoot if I wanted. Right?
Nice.
So, this is the most essential book for a DM. The second most essential book for a DM is the DM Guide. Okay. But I'll tell you this right now from personal experience. This book is highly unlikely to ever get opened during a game. This is a book that you read when you're not playing. This is a book that like I sit down on the couch and I'm like, this is an idea I could do, Like, look at this.
It's the
organizations. It tells me how to like plan stuff in the game.
Okay.
So,
so it's a prep book.
It is. I think maybe 4 or 5 occasions I've opened it during a game, but there's a section in the back here that's amazing. Look at this. Ideas for magic items.
Oh, nice. Wow.
and it's got like
Ooh.
stats on what they can do.
What is the
I
invisible
like that
cloak?
the red hood there, like the cape and stuff.
Yeah,
You'd be like the hood from in Marvel Comics.
yeah. So just stuff like that. There you go.
Ooh.
So enchanted things. Okay, so this book is awesome for that kind of stuff. All right. So that is the end of the. These are the 3 core books, basically: Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master Guide, Monster Manual. These 3, you can do whatever you want. You could play for 20 years using this.
Wow.
You know. Now I've got a couple other books here. There are also other supplemental books that I was telling you about before, Sparks.
Yeah.
Like they're additional handbooks for, like, let's say if we're going to play in a specific setting, like the Sword Coast. That's a place within D&D. There is a player's handbook for the Sword Coast, and it's like to get you familiar as if you lived in that area, things that you would already know.
Oh, wow.
Like this town's over here, and hey, they're known for their fishing over here, and there's jobs mining, you know, whatever, like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So that is more like the few times I've ever seen that book, usually one person has it and everyone playing in that game passes it around. I've personally never seen it where 5 people playing all have a copy of that.
Okay.
I don't even have one of those, but I have 2 other books here. What's that?
Oh, I was just laughing because you're like, you know, we just shared her. I don't have it though.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I say buy all the D&D books you want because there's a YouTube channel that they talk about running games and everything, and the guys on that channel said that they have every single D&D book and they buy every single one of them when they come out, but they don't play anything out of them.
Jeez.
Because they strictly use them to influence their own games. So using your own modules is called homebrewing. That's what that's called. Everything we've done in Star Wars was 100% homebrewed.
Okay.
And you see, I seem to be doing pretty well with that. Obviously,
Yeah.
some attention.
It's working.
Yeah. So you might buy every one of these books and construct a homebrew based on information you learn from.
Okay.
So I have 2 other books here. I got Tales from the Yawning Portal. Now, what this is, I actually really like this book. I have played tons of shit out of this book. I have ran 2 separate campaigns that have originated stuff largely from this book. So this is a collection of 7 different modules from the whole history of D&D. There are modules in here from the original D&D game from the early 80s. Late 70s, early 80s. There's some from the 90s. There's some from the early 2000s, but they have remastered them to fit the 5th edition.
Okay.
So, for example, do we still have Sith here?
No, I think he went to.
I think he left for a little bit.
He what?
He went to go do some cardio. He said.
Yeah.
I
So he
really
doesn't
like
have-
that bit.
So he doesn't have cardiac issues.
So, Sixth Face, you're here. Who else do we have in here that's a D&D player? I know Wesley plays. But does he play? Have you played anything pre-5th edition? 6th, I guarantee you've played pre-5th edition based on some of the stuff you said. If anybody here has played pre-5th edition, then they might know about this. This is the Sunless Citadel. It is one of the most famous D&D modules. It came from 3rd edition. And it has been remastered for 4th edition and remastered for 5th edition in this book. So basically, I can run the Sunless Citadel story out of this book with all this information. There's NPCs. There's the original artwork.
Oh, nice.
3rd edition. So there's NPCs. There's locations. There's maps of places. There's enemies, plot points, magic items. To give you guys a great example how awesome this is. See this character right here? I don't know if we still got Kid here, but see this guy?
Yeah.
That is Erky Timbers, okay? Erky Timbers is a random gnome that was captured and put in this cage. And in this story, the characters come across him and free him. And you have an option right then and there to either let him go out on his own, or let him follow you into the dungeon and tell you secrets about what's going on in that dungeon. The campaign that me and my wife played about a year and a half ago, they took Erky Timbers with them out of the dungeon, and he stayed in the game for the next 5 months.
Did you keep telling them secrets?
I was running him as an NPC. I gave him his own character sheet. We started leveling Erky Timbers up.
Oh wow!
Was that like a roll to see if he'd come with you or something? Like after the
they everything just kept working out. It's like, well, we got this dungeon and Erky's still with us, so what are we gonna do? It's like, and he's like, so I played him as a comical character, right? And they were like, Erky, we will go on this journey with us, whatever. He goes like, yes, but I have a request. Can we go by my home village first so I can tell everyone what happened to me? And they're like, sure. How far is it? He goes, oh, it's really, really far. They're like, okay, like how far? They're like, he's like, it could take a long time to get there or whatever. And he's like, but I know the way. And they showed him the map, and he said, you estimate on the map that it is approximately 3 days ride by horseback. And they're like, that isn't very far. Like, guys, he's a gnome.
Yeah.
It took him weeks to get here. So,
oh man.
So when I took them to Erky's village, they got there and they found out that a horrible creature had been like rampaging the village while Erky was gone. So the party decided to help save the village. Turned out the creature was a grizzly bear. So it was like fairly easy for them to kill the grizzly bear, but the grizzly bear had like destroyed this whole freaking gnome village. So anyway, so that's the kind of fun stuff to come out of these books, right? We wouldn't have had that Erky experience without this book.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
There's also, I wish Sith was here, because in the back of this is, I'm going to show this because everyone will appreciate this that knows what it is. This is the Tomb of Horrors, which is considered to be one of the hardest modules ever created. The Tomb of Horrors originated in 1975. This is an original Gary Gygax module.
Who's Gary?
Gary Gygax is the creator of Dungeons & Dragons.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we got the map of the tomb right there. You know.
Is that the one that Phil had? Or is that something else?
No, Phil has Curse of Strahd.
Strahd.
I don't have Strahd. So Strahd got remastered for 5th edition too, but that's a whole book on its own, like this size.
Yeah, because he had that tomb. That's what reminded me of that. He said the tomb. So
anyway, so there's 7 different modules in this one book. So, and most of them are classics. Then I got this one, Ghosts of Saltmarsh. This is also 7 classics remastered.
Nice.
The Tomb of Character Killing. Have you played Tomb of Horrors, Wesley? I've actually never used it.
The Tomb of Character Killing.
Yeah. So this is Ghosts of Saltmarsh. The same thing. This is 7 of them remastered for 5th edition. I have used stuff out of this, but to a lesser extent. The one thing that I've never used out of this that I'd like to use, maybe sneak preview. It'll appear in our campaign that we're going to do. I don't know if it will or not, but I would like to use it.
Depends on what we end up doing.
Let me find this real quick. Where the hell is this thing? Is one of the crazy. Actually, is it? I think it's in the Army Portal. I don't know if it's in this book. So here you go. Though this book here added a bunch of creatures that. Oh, by the way, that's another thing. These supplement guides do add creatures that aren't in the monster manuals.
Okay.
They add creatures. They add NPCs. They add items. They add like look here, an ocean map you can use.
Nice.
Yeah. So I could recreate this on the grid if I wanted.
So this is a comic I highly recommend you read.
Me?
Yeah.
Murder Hobo.
Murder
You know
Hobo.
what a murder hobo is.
What?
You know what a murder hobo is.
Yeah.
So
there's a definition here, right here.
So kid, a murder hobo is a person that doesn't play their character right in D&D. They basically imagine this, like you don't have a home, you don't have any kind of life, all you do is go around killing people. How long would that work in the real world?
Not long at all.
Exactly. You play that like that in my games and your ass is arrested or dead.
Oh my god.
Most likely arrested because I don't want your character to die. I want you to go to jail and then
Wesley,
make you give up and then roll up another character and not do that.
murder hoboing is fun.
Wesley, you're not gonna murder. Like, okay, Wesley, don't say anything in the chat. But that character we talked about that you're gonna do on Friday, can you imagine if you murder hoboed with that?
Oh,
This sounds bad.
now you're making me curious, man.
That makes me think I'm gonna die on Friday. So what they wrote was role-playing games, derogatory slang, a player character who wanders the game world unattached to any community, indiscriminately killing and looting.
Yeah.
And so this story is about it's essentially about groups that have been affected by murder hobos.
Oh,
It's not fun.
But so it starts out, they're at this tavern, and it's called the Dragon's Taint. And on the wall is the Dragon's Taint. Danny.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay.
Oh God, here, I'll blow you up real quick.
No, I don't think we need that full screen. But yeah, and
I'm trying to find the specific thing.
here's the murder hobo himself. The main murder hobo. Like all of the murder hobo stories start out where they've lost. They're telling the story, and then they're like, "And that's how I lost my eye."
Are they based off of real campaign things that have happened?
I don't know, but there's some other cool things in this book. There's like ads. It says from your friends at Ad Goblin, and one of the things is try new magic sand of blinding, pocket sand. And the murder hobo saying, "Here's some fucking sand in your eye." And then it says, "Fuck them and fight dirty."
Jesus.
God. So I found what I was looking for. It actually wasn't in the Ghost of Saltmarsh book. It was in the Yawning Portal. This is what is considered to be one of the most complex dungeons ever made for Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, wow.
I've never used it, but maybe if you guys get really good and play for a long time, I'll use it. This is called the Doom Vault.
Holy fuck.
Just realize how, for scale, let's do for scale here. Let me see here.
Wow.
Where is the...
I feel like we'd be lost in that forever.
Yeah.
So this is the entrance. That's a door that people are going to go in. Hold on, Frankie, right here.
Oh, my God.
So you, for scale, you go in.
Where's the exit?
I don't think there is one.
So you have to go back out.
How many vaults you know with 2 doors?
I was like, do you go back out the way you came in?
Yeah, I'm sure you quest in this place for something. Either you're going to rescue a princess or find a magic item or something like that.
Rescue the princess.
Yeah. Oh, this is a great time to show what I showed you backstage, kid, since everybody's on D&D right now. So, Jeremy,
What
Phil
were you
helped me make
backstage, man? That's wrong. That's wrong.
what's that?
I'm kidding.
So Phil helped me make this. I'm going to bring you guys back up so you guys we can get your reactions.
Now I remember.
Okay. This is going to be our opening theme video for the first time ever before seen for our D&D.
Johnny, what's up?
Who's there?
Johnny. He's got no power and he's still here.
What's up, man? Thanks for dropping in. We've been talking some D&D stuff. And you're just in time to watch this video if you've got enough.
Don't use up all your power.
This is going to be our intro for the RPG show once the Dungeons & Dragons stuff starts. Ready?
Welcome to a magnificent journey into the past. This is medieval time! Oh, the dragon's balls ablaze, and as I stepped into his cave, and I sliced his fucking cockles with a long and shiny blade.
I am she, the my deadly mandolin.
I'm a wizard. When we play, we go all night eating Twizzlers. Got my spell book
Gold blonde hair spills past her alabaster shoulders like springs of honey mead. Her full, ample breasts are barely covered by a sheen of magical elven chainmail. Leather leggings hug her butter-supple loins.
I want to have sex with her.
So, you're walking through the forest and... What? A forest? We were in a dungeon. And what about the evil wizard who was zapping everyone? He's done. What? He's done zapping. Now move along. So, you're walking through the forest. Dungeon. Okay, dungeon forest. Whatever. You're walking along. And you're walking...
But that's a burden you choose to bear when you can bend the very laws of reality with the power of your imagination. That's a gift to be respected and feared.
He was 10 years old when his cousins introduced him to a game, Dungeons and Dragons.
As I was killing things, killing people, animals, the more I played Dungeons and Dragons, and the more I got involved in Satanism.
I'm telling you, these people are Satanists. As I sit here, they are Satanists. Look, the world is full of these kind of things. Look at this. Black masses, mutilations, mutilation. It's still real to me, damn it! Once they get in here, it's over, pal.
I love that last part, man.
Oh man, I recognize that one, or actually probably multiple parts of that from that video you sent me.
See, that's what I was doing. I was fishing for clips to make something like that. And Phil helped me. All credit to Comics Talk Weekly, Phil. He helped me cut the Dexter's Lab clips because I don't have enough video software to download a full episode of a show and cut out. So I gave him the timestamps and he cut those 2 clips for me. What was that?
It's my insulin pump.
Oh, you doing all right?
Yeah, it just wants me to change it.
Thanks, Johnny. Yeah, I'm glad you're here to see that because that was the world premiere of it. But yeah, so pretty much I'll do the countdown and then that'll come on kind of like how Sith does with Spine Ticks. So.
I like it.
Yeah, it kind of gets you in the mood, lighthearted, you know.
Yeah.
That last part. Once I get into your head.
We need some like so you know how Sith has that background stuff? Like
I got one.
Like right now you've got the Leafs.
I got one.
Oh boy.
Oh. Is that Link?
Zelda, yeah, right?
What?
It looks like
No, it's not Zelda. Here, I was gonna wait, what the
you gotta pull us out.
How do you do that?
Remove us from the stream, like into the backstage area.
Oh, I don't want to kick from studio. Is that what I do?
No.
Just ticks us both.
There should be a way to move us off of like the display screen. It might be down below.
He's gone.
You got to remove yourself too.
Oh, can I do that? Can I remove everyone?
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go.
What you could do, what Sith does is it pulls us all backstage. We get ready to go. He starts the countdown.
Yeah.
The countdown ends. You just get the background, right?
Yeah.
Then he plays the video.
Oh.
Brings everybody back in.
Yep. I'll bring you guys in while that video's going.
Right. Or whoever's going to be there at the beginning. And then, the video ends and we're all there and boom.
Yep. That's kind of what I had planned, but that's a good way of laying it out there.
Yeah. No, these are things I've just picked up from like what he does.
Yeah, that video was a ton of fun to make, by the way. I'm just sitting there thinking of all the things in pop culture I knew about D&D, and I was just fishing out of things like while I was going.
The G6 one, the D6 is dead.
Oh, G6.
You should watch the full video of that. There's a guy in the video who like raps, and he's really good.
There's a Harry Potter version too. Fly like a Quidditch.
Yeah, I've seen.
Oh, dude, we should do you guys should do a Harry Potter RPG.
Well, I'm not going to say that that's what we're doing, but there's going to be something in there that definitely fits that mold.
Okay.
Me. I mean, I'm gonna be a wizard, and
eat up all night eating Twizzlers. So the video with the two guys that are like just way too into it, that's from the Fear of Girls miniseries I was telling you guys about. It was a thing that was made back. That's older than YouTube, actually. That's
wow!
Internet way back in the day. Basically, these guys made a mini documentary, and they did it in 4 parts. And they play D&D, but their whole thing was making fun of people that play D&D, and they were
like a spoof,
almost over like enhanced versions of themselves. And like, but the dude with like the "I'm a true gamer" shirt, he's like him, right? And there's this part in there, it's so freaking funny. He's like, I tend to make elaborate tapestries of campaigns that, quite frankly, might be too much for your hobbyist gamer. If you just play once a month or on weekends, just a couple times a week, then you it might be too novice for my games. Like what the hell would it not be if you were a hobbyist? Like what else would it be?
Be a professional D&D-er.
Yeah.
Well, there is the Adventuring League. D&D has an official adventure league.
Oh.
The only thing with that, it's cool, but it's very, very strict and rigid with the rules to keep uniform.
Ooh.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Like they don't want me getting up to level 10 with a character from a session that like was totally jacked up and was disproportionate, and then go off to a convention somewhere with that character and bring them in against people that have been playing for years to get to level 10.
Gotcha.
You know, they don't want that. Like I could start a game right now and get you guys to level 10 like right away.
Oh wow.
Like I could say, okay, you guys are sitting there and you're thinking, you know what, we should go adventuring together. Yeah, okay. And then you walk outside of town and then crazy shit happens. Dragons come down from the sky, screw up everything. You get a lucky shot off and kill one, 1,000,000 experience points.
Jesus.
I could do that, but like
see, my roll wouldn't be a 20 though. It would be a 1. And
yeah, of course, Sparks always get those small
I
rolls.
shoot myself in the foot, and then the dragon would eat me. Let's be real.
Yeah, Sparks always got those low pulls on Friday.
Hey, at least we didn't crash the ship this time.
Yeah, I think that would be cool though, kid. If you and Wesley and you talked Joey into doing it, and you guys did your own thing, and then like I could come play with you guys sometimes. You know,
heck yeah.
Yeah, you guys could come guest with us. I think.
Yeah.
But I think
we'll have to convince Joey.
Who do we have now? We've got Sparks here for sure. Caroline's going to be floaty, so she'll be in and out, but I'll consider her. Sith, Phil, Lewis, Nola. Who am I not thinking of?
Is Al doing it?
So I haven't talked to Al directly about that.
I know he was having fun with Star Wars.
Yeah. I want Al to be a part of it. I don't know if he's willing to buy the handbook, but if let's say that, but we'll just get theoretical here. If Al's watching the rewind, Al, if you want to play with us, you are welcome every stream. Even if you don't want to buy the handbook, you can hang out for commentary, and I could put you in some non-player roles. Like NPC.
I'm sure he could play NPCs. He could be like NPC voice
if you want to, man. If you still want to play, you can, but you're going to need to get the handbook. That's just going to be the only entry requirement for this. But
yeah,
crossover to exactly, Wesley. Yeah,
I know he like when he did the Star Wars one, he was like, "Yeah, I'll do one," and then he did it, and he's like, "Oh my god, let's do more."
If you go way back and watch the chat me and Al did like months ago, well, actually, no, it wasn't. It was brought up just briefly in the chat, but backstage after that chat, we talked about it. I told him how much you'd like it, and I knew that he would.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Star Wars is so fun to watch, man. Just seeing everyone roll, it's freaking awesome.
So I was pretty sure the last one was going to be the best one out of the 4.
I think it was.
You never quite know. You never quite know, and then and then like Nola said, the one before it was a lot more action friendly, hack 'em down kind of a thing.
Yeah,
you have to have that sometimes.
But, right, you got to have a good mix of like action going on, maybe action like that one.
I don't want the session to be standing around and turning into Days of Our Lives with like that kind of role play.
Yeah.
But I also don't want it to just be like a hack and slash game.
Right.
I don't mind a certain session being like that. Like, I mean,
right. And then you balance it out by like last session was a little bit of mix of both. This coming session sounds like it's going to be a bit more dialogue-y and development, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense given that we're going to focus on Phil's story.
Sparks, were you around for the story of that I told about in-game D&D lore? I don't remember what stream it was, but Sith told me to tell this story that I told him about the guys who cut off the head. Were you there?
Yes. Because they did that because of there was something else that was attached to that whole thing, right?
So I'll tell it to kid. You can just observe it. I'll tell it to kid. Anybody who's watching now, which we've got 6 people still watching. I think Six Face might still be here. He probably knows the story. So in D&D, kid, every edition builds on the previous edition that came out. The first edition came out in 1974. All right. And we're in 5th edition now. We're actually probably at the end of the life cycle of 5th edition because it's been going since like 2012, I think, or 2013.
Oh, wow.
So they always build the lore from previous ones. Well, way back in the 80s, and this is another thing that's neat, actual games like we're playing now can influence the greater D&D world. Like, for real, there are things in D&D that happened in people's actual games, in their living rooms, in their kitchens, that made it into the lore.
Oh.
So if you go way back to the early mid-'80s, somewhere around there, there was a story about a sorcerer named Vecna, okay? And Vecna was actually created by one of Vecna, dude, Wesley, yeah.
Gosh.
So Vecna was he was a sorcerer. He was created by some of the original playtesters for D&D, and they actually named him as an anagram to the name Jack Vance, because Jack Vance is the guy who did the artwork on the original Dungeons and Dragons games.
Okay.
And he also wrote a bunch of books. So they anagrammed his name and made it Vecna. So he was a lich, which is like a undead sorcerer. He basically can raise the dead and all that kind of. He's a necromancer.
That's dope.
That's what Sith wants to be.
Of a certain campaign in the early mid-'80s. And Vecna was destroyed by his right-hand man. He turned on him, and the only thing that survived was the hand and one eye.
Jesus.
Flash forward to Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, 2nd edition. And the eye and the hand became a subject in the story. People would quest after them. People would stumble across them. Because if you cut off your hand and stitched the hand of Vecna, you would get Vecna's power. If you plucked out your own eye and put in Vecna's eye, you would get his mind, or part of his mind, and you would get true sight, which gives you the ability to like see everything, basically.
Wow.
So, but the problem is you would do a roll that would give you a 1 in 20 chance of dying, and it would give you a 19 in 20 chance of turning pure evil.
Ooh. So
a lot of people know, okay, Wesley's bringing up Joe Manganiello's campaign, Become Candy. Yes, Hand of Vecna has been used by Joe Manganiello. Yeah. So what's great is, flash forward, mid-1990s, 95, 96, random game of people we'll never meet. They're hanging out in somebody's kitchen. The DM is running 2 separate groups in 2 different games. Basically, I would be running a session with one group, and then I run a session with another group, and the worlds interact, and the groups are competing against each other, and all that going on.
Okay.
So one group gets this idea of basically creating an in-game hoax. And they created an in-game hoax of, hey, you remember the hand of Vecna? You remember the eye of Vecna? What if we create a hoax of the head of Vecna, and we get the other team to try to quest after it and send them on a wild goose chase? Right?
Oh.
So what they did was they go out in the middle of nowhere. They find an abandoned temple. They go in there. They cut a random dude's head off that like attacked them in the woods or something like that. Cut his head off, take the head to the temple, stick it up on the mount, go through, set a shitload of booby traps up all over the temple.
Okay.
They go back into these towns, all over the countryside. They start spreading rumors in bars and taverns and restaurants.
Oh, about it.
Kind of stuff, and they start paying bards to go tell stories of the head of Vecna.
Oh, wow.
Rotate over to the other group. DM's running it. He's got bards out. The village or the other team comes into towns. They start hearing the stories. They start rolling up to find out if the stories are true. They're getting bad rolls and stuff, and it's everything is playing up that the hoax is being convincing. So they're like, man, remember the hand, remember the eye? What the hell does the head do?
Oh.
So they go off on a quest into the jungle, trekking through, wildlife attacking them, the whole thing, find the freaking temple, go in, they're setting off traps, they're getting through, get all the way up, they find the head on the altar. And they're like, well, what do you do with it? Well, the hand and the eye, it works by cutting off your own.
Oh, gosh.
Plucking the eye out. So they're like, hey, who should we put it on? Because they're trying to power up, right, so they can defeat the other team. Well, the barbarian character's like, cut my head off and stick it on me. Okay. Kneels down. I guess the rogue or whatever, or whoever it was, I guess it's rogue or paladin, comes up, slices the head off. Dead instantly. Remember, this is a fucking random dude's head. This is not even Vecna's head. Okay. Now, keep in mind, by the way, keep in mind, even if it was Vecna's head, right? You're not giving the head. You're not getting his head on your body. You're giving Vecna a new body. So he's like waiting in the world if that were true. So anyway, so they're like, oh shit, it doesn't work. So the wizard's standing there, right? Wizard's like, I know why, because hey, what's up, Tyler? I'm talking to them about the Vecna. I think me and you talked. Tyler's played D&D with me in person, actually. So
did he come for the original talk?
I think he did, because he probably just got off work like 20 minutes ago. So anyway, so they're like, the wizard's like, oh, it's because the barbarian has no ounce of magic in his body, right?
Oh gosh.
Vecna was a sorcerer. I should have the head of Vecna. Rogue comes off, cuts the head. All right. Wizard dies instantly. There's like 2 people left. I think it's the rogue or paladin, whatever he was. And then I can't remember. The other character was a monk, I think, is what it was. Or cleric. He was a cleric. Because he had healing powers, so he went last to try to heal everyone, try to save the game. He cuts off the rogue or whoever's head, and it doesn't work. It was at that point, holding the head, that he realized that they screwed up big time.
Oh.
Literally the cleric around his entire party that they just killed, and he's holding a random guy's head, and he's the only one to fight off the other team.
So he's screwed.
So that story made it into conventions back in the 90s, and different people mingled in, different D&D people met, and all that kind of stuff. There's other videos on YouTube. I'm not the first. I'm retelling the story as I heard it, of people who've met the original party and know about that story. That could very well be in the official D&D lore, man. Like we could run this. I could make you guys learn about the head of Vecna. Of course, you would already know the story, but metagaming, right? You don't want to metagame. However, Sparks.
What is metagame?
Metagaming is like if you know about something that your character shouldn't know, you can't play as if your character knows it.
Okay.
But Sparks, here's what if something like this does come up, where you're like metagaming basically, what you can do is you can do a roll to determine whether or not you even believe the story you're hearing.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Like, okay, we hear about this. We don't know what, in my mind, I'm going to be skeptical about everything that we hear about, right?
If you look at the character sheet, you see insight. Like there's a thing on there that says insight on the character sheet. Whatever bonus you get would be what you throw on top of that roll to get insight, and you could tell if a person was lying.
I got you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wherever this is.
That's a hell of a story.
Just be skeptical of everything.
I think it shows the power of D&D in the real world.
But I might be skeptical as the person, but my character might not be skeptical.
Yeah, if you want to write it in that your character's skeptical, you can.
I'm a skeptical wizard.
I actually encourage people to write their characters somewhat of how they would behave in a real life situation.
Oh boy.
Oh, that makes sense.
I would run every time there's danger.
Then do that. You could. I played a game with someone who did that.
Kid's character is a coward.
I played a game with someone who they wrote their characters always running, and the other party kept making them like stand and fight, and eventually that character built up courage.
Oh, okay.
I also played with a character who he could not do anything outside of the bounds of what his god allowed him to do. So the DM eventually entered that character's mind while he was praying and told him that it was all right to do those things.
Oh God.
He had to do a religion roll to determine whether he believed it was really that God or not, and he got it, and it was right. So
there's so much, man.
Oh man, you have no idea. I've only been playing D&D for like 3 years, like 2.5 years. I haven't even barely done it this last year. I played it like 12 years ago. I played the Star Wars version like 12. When was that? Let's see, 2008. 2008, I played a little bit of D&D and a little bit of the Star Wars one. And then I didn't play again until 2017 or 18. So yeah. So what are you looking at in the book right now, Sparks?
I've got the wizard page open.
Yeah, you're a wizard.
You're a wizard, Sparks.
Am I gonna get the clip for that? You're a wizard.
Oh God, dude.
Oh boy.
I can't wait to see who the butch is gonna be. No, I'm kidding.
Oh God.
Barbarian.
You know what I thought was pretty awesome the other night when you guys said that you wanted me to be the mediator between the Butcha and Nerdy Girl.
Yeah.
I actually meant to text Sith about this earlier. I forgot to. I'm like, I thought I'd be a good mediator. When they don't realize I'm on the Butcha side.
Yeah.
Like, I would not be a good mediator for that.
Oh.
Oh, no, that would not be.
That would be hilarious, dude.
That would not be an impartial mediator.
No, definitely not. But I don't know. Like, if we were to bring Roger and the Butch in, I wonder who they would want to be. What kind of characters?
Question is it drunk Roger or sober Roger?
Yeah, I'm not gonna allow that. That would take the game. Hey, he's back, man. What's up?
Everything, Sith. Everything.
They just asked me a ton of questions about D&D, and I answered it the best I could.
We asked tons of questions about Sith's life. No, I'm kidding.
so Sith, check this out, right? Kid and Wesley, they want to get Joey to play their own D&D and do a power pack D&D, and then have some of us come guest on theirs, and then we can have them come guest in our game sometimes.
Yeah.
That way we're not getting too stacked up with too many on one show.
Yeah, we just got to figure out how to convince Joey.
It'll be easy.
Hopefully.
Wait, you don't think Joey will do it?
I think you will. It just will take some convincing.
Joey's a nerd. He'll do it.
So I guess Wesley.
We all are.
Yeah. You know what? I hope I want their first session to just be the three of them. Like, you can bring on a guest later. I just want the original 3 power pack to do their first session. And I want Wesley to be the DM.
Is Wes gonna also have a character?
No, not at first.
Okay.
He can run one later. I want to see a 2-parter where Kid is something like a bard rogue mix or something like that. And then Wesley's like a freaking barbarian or something. I'm sorry, Wesley. Joey's a barbarian.
Joey's a warrior barbarian.
You know what?
Wait, is this The Witcher then? Is this just The Witcher then?
What?
The Witcher.
I've never seen The Witcher. I know what it is.
I never played the games, but I watched the show. And,
my wife liked it. She watched the show.
And the guy goes around. You know, he's a warrior, and there's a bard that like follows him around essentially.
It's just said once Joey sees Uncle Sith playing, he sure will.
Exactly. He will.
If he sees the butcher playing,
sure. He said yes. He said yes.
He said he would.
Joey is on.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, we're not actually going to get to our D&D session until it's going to be a while because we've got at least minimum 3 more sessions of Star Wars. At least.
So we've got
how many?
At least 3 more. Maybe.
Yes, that means I can keep commenting on them. Heck yes. The Witcher books.
Yes, has read the Witcher books. Yeah.
We can get back to D&D, but while we've still got viewers and while Kid is still with us, I want to talk about what he asked me about backstage. You were asking about Justice League Dark.
Yep.
So I've gotten really into characters like Zatanna, and this is a recommendation. This particular book was recommended to me by Sith Lordley when I first got back into comics. He knew that I liked Zatanna, and I asked him if he knew any good stories with her that I wouldn't have known about, and he said he recommended Justice League Dark New 52 #1. And since Power Pack is talking about reading a DC trade paperback that's not Batman, this is the ultimate pick, which is so funny because I just read this yesterday. But honest to God, this is one of the best trades I've ever read. This is one of the best comics I've ever read.
I cannot wait to read that.
I usually don't say that sort of thing fresh off of something because I'm like, oh, it's fresh on my mind. No, this is one of the best things I've ever read. It helps that I've been reading a ton of Zatanna. So, like,
who wrote that?
Jeff Johns? No.
Peter Milligan.
Oh, yeah. That was way off.
Michael Janin? Which one? Is that writer or artist? Which one? I don't even know.
Usually whoever's listed first.
Yeah, Peter Milligan. Yeah, Peter Milligan is a writer because I've seen him on something else. Yeah. But the newer ones are Tinian.
Oh.
So I'm going to finish reading this series. I actually, dude, as soon as I got done, I went ahead and ordered the next 3 trades.
Oh, geez.
But yes, I loved it. It was great. The main villain of this is the Enchantress.
Oh.
That's actually the Enchantress right there.
Yeah, I was thinking of reading Justice League Dark or Doomsday Clock. I want to read Doomsday Clock so bad.
You need to read that after you read the original Watchmen. This is the sequel to Watchmen.
So I had I was watching a auction claim sale, and they had Doomsday Clock issue 1 for $15, and I was like,
my LCM had the entire run in one bag for $50.
Oh wow!
Sith,
you don't want to spend that much just to like read it, but
yeah.
Sith, I want you to do that because that would be an important part of D&D history and an important component of D&D, and you could tie it in with our RPG show. So I actually really support you doing minis and books and all that kind of stuff, the history of it and everything, or whatever. I know you got some toys and stuff too. I think that would be really cool if you started showing D&D stuff on there.
Yeah.
No, I think the biggest surprise for me out of this was I didn't know what to expect of the Dead Man.
Oh.
Like I knew who he was as a character, but I didn't know much about him. But coming out of this, all on the Dead Man train. I really like him as a
Yep, I want to get his first appearance really bad.
Well,
It's actually pretty cheap too.
This is just an awesome. I mean, it's a fairly light read, but a lot is going on in here.
Yeah,
this is a very rated R comic.
Oh,
it is. Yeah, it's heavy. What are you calling the gaming session? RPG live stream. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Sith, Sith wasn't here for the video.
Oh yeah, he wasn't. You gotta play that.
Sith, me and Phil made an intro. I did most of it. Phil helped me with some of the cutting because he had better equipment for downloading whole things and like chopping them up. But we made an intro video, and I'm gonna go ahead and show it again since Sith is here to watch. This is what's gonna play before every episode of the RPG.
Welcome to a magnificent journey into the past. This is medieval time! Oh, the dragon's balls were blazing as I stepped into his cave. Then I sliced his fucking cockles with a long and shiny blade.
I am she, the more deadly mandolin.
I'm a wizard. When we play, we go all night. Eating Twizzlers, got myself a wild high. Learning new tricks. Shooting lightning to the sky. Roll a d6.
Her gold-spawned blonde hair spills past her alabaster shoulders like springs of honey mead. Her full, ample breasts are barely covered by a sheen of magical elven chainmail. Leather leggings hug her butter-supple loins.
I want to have sex with her.
So, you're walking through the forest and... What? A forest? We were in a dungeon. And what about the evil wizard who was zapping everyone? He's done. What? He's done zapping. Now move along. So, you're walking through the forest. Dungeon. Okay, dungeon forest. Whatever. You're walking along. And you're walking...
But that's a burden you choose to bear when you can bend the very laws of reality with the power of your imagination. That's a gift to be respected and feared.
He was 10 years old when his cousins introduced him to a game, Dungeons and Dragons.
As I was killing things, killing people, animals, the more I played Dungeons and Dragons, and the more I got involved in Satanism.
I'm telling you, these people are Satanists. As I sit here, they are Satanists. Look, the world is full of these kind of things. Look at this. Black masses, mutilations, mutilation. It's still real to me, damn it! Once they get in here, it's over, pal.
I love that.
Yeah, Sim jumped out whenever I put that video on for him.
Yeah, it's freaking. I love that.
That's the scare Sith away video. Going out, see you in 20.
Well, part of that is inspired by Sith because Sith lived that reality of being like shamed for D&D because of Satanism. I didn't have it so much. I knew about it. It was still going on like well into my like teen years. I didn't play D&D.
Yeah.
I knew people who did, and I knew about people saying that it was no bad or whatever. But
I don't think I knew about it really till college.
Sith,
or like maybe had like an awareness that it existed, but not really what it was.
Well, Sith, his stepmom straight up threw out all his stuff and said that he was going to hell.
Jesus.
I mean, aren't we all? Oh.
Well, anyway, yeah. Back to this here though. This is yeah. No, Sid. So I'm assuming you did trying to be funny and you watched that, but yeah, that's our RPG intro. Phil's help. So, but yeah, Kid Collector, you need to pick that up.
Heck yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, the Satanic Panic. That's hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah. What's so funny is like that's what they talk about actually in Department of Truth too.
I got to read that.
The Satanic Panic and like the star-faced man comes from that, and there it is. Indeed.
SCG, man. Thanks for dropping in.
Southern.
Man, every time you misspell Quidditch.
I think I can spell it right. Let's see.
Yeah, he's calling it Quidditch because he wants you to stop it. It's Quidditch. Walk me through this Quidditch here.
Oh, we got Astrons in there too.
Austria.
I summoned him by saying Department of Truth.
I actually love Department of Truth.
Vince, have you been lurking the whole time? Because there's been people in the stream that aren't talking.
He probably was. But yeah, that's how you spell it, kid.
Okay, yeah.
Quidditch.
So how do you play that?
In real life, it's a lot of running instead of flying.
Okay.
The snitch is the biggest thing that's like a lot different. There's a snitch runner who has the snitch essentially like a like flag football kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's a tennis ball and a sock instead of just a flag. Yeah. But those like the snitch runners, they usually are like pretty well built people and they can grapple really well. And so to get the snitch from them usually takes a lot of work.
I still like the thing about Luna Lovegood though. That's hilarious.
Kid Collector in 15 years.
What?
It's an all-stranded Kid Collector in 15 years.
Well, that's what I said.
29.
Is I said he's going to grow up to look just like him.
Man. Snitches get stitches. No, snitches give stitches. Or reasons for stitches.
Oh, so
hello. Did you not watch our last session? That's not a problem.
Oh god.
Kids like, nah, I don't want to do that. Too many troubles. Less money to spend on comics.
Dude, I would like to try Quidditch, but it sounds like a lot of running, and I really don't like running unless it's for basketball. So.
Well, I don't go. I did go running a little bit when I was doing it to try to stay in better shape, but like, that was my cardio. Like, I was in my like the best shape I've ever been in when I did that. Now, nah, I don't do any exercise. Really, it's bad. I need to, but.
I mean, they say the same thing about like what Sid's saying about like D&D too, but there are a ton of girls that play D&D. There actually really are. My wife does. My friend's wife does. What is this I'm looking at?
Jeez.
Feels like 21 degrees here.
Oh, it's worse than that here.
I'm just like, it's not supposed to do that in Louisiana. What is this? Jesus.
No, there's like a ton of girls that play D&D though. You'd actually really be surprised. They may just not be as forward about it.
Yeah. Actually, at my comic shop, I've seen some like come in and like get D&D stuff.
There's actually there's an online D&D show that is ran by an adult female film actress.
Right, Deborah Ann Wall.
No, she's not an adult female actress. She's an actual actress.
Oh, I thought you meant like not a kid, like an adult.
No.
I missed. Oh God. Oh God. I realize what you're saying now. But I thought you were like, because we're talking about like.
Yeah. I'm just saying like this whole like stigma about D&D is not.
I did not know that was a thing. No, I mean there's some like actresses that done other things, not that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that have done that, and like popular actors too, like that run the game sessions on YouTube.
Satine Phoenix is her name. She's an adult film actress and she runs D&D games.
So I know what you're Googling right now. Oh.
Kids like a book that I wanted to show him too. Now
kids like private browser.
Oh, I should have dug this out, man. I have a book that I want to show Kid that I got to go dig out. Hang on, let me get this. This is totally
right. Critical Role has a lot of like actors and actresses that.
Well, I like the Critical Role people, but it's like I told you before. You got.
Oh,
like he's told us before.
And he's got.
We have taken it over. We got Hyper Combo Comics in the chat.
Oh, what's up, Hyper?
I got booted.
You got booted from an old stream.
Yeah, Critical Role. My only issue with that is, like I said, you got to be really dedicated to watch that, man. Like they do hundreds of hours worth of D&D in any given month. Like I could not possibly keep it up with it. It's a part-time job to watch everything they do. So I have a book here I want to dig out to show Kid.
I mean, I'm sure that channel brings in a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like,
hi, Kitty.
He's like walking around over there where I was.
He's taking over. Oh man.
Man, where is this thing? Oh, here it is. Okay. So, Kid, I know you said you like Vampirella.
Oh, yes.
And they were talking about, like, that's probably not appropriate for you. This is what I like. Betty Page.
Oh. I know the old Betty Page books are hard to find.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the Halloween issue here. That
cover's dope.
Yeah, I really like it a lot. I've been wanting to show you that ever since you said the thing about Vampirella.
Heck yeah. Oh, hi, Kitty. Just chilling over there.
What are you doing up here? He's a good boy. Yeah, so there we go. Oh, look, it's Hypercombo Morpheus, who incites panelists to attack influencers. Yeah, why isn't his name changed?
Oh, there goes Sparks.
Yeah, there goes Sparks.
I'm
going to go ahead and drop the link again. That way Sparks can get back in. And then also if Hyper or somebody wants to. If Hyper or Sith or somebody wants to come on here, they can. Oh, he got on his own. I was getting ready to drop the link for you. But you guys on your own.
I just clicked I was closing one tab because I was trying to print the PDF for the for this. And I pulled that open and it opened another tab. And then I closed it and I guess I double clicked and then StreamYard was like, boom. But now I don't see that it's actually printed.
What was I going to? Oh, have you guys actually been on a stream together before?
I don't think. No, it's Sparks.
Oh, no, maybe that was Wes that I was on a stream with.
Yeah, because Sparks is the Tupac or whatever of the comics community. Or not Tupac, Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah, Dr. Dre.
Yeah. Now that needs to be a clip. I need some Dr. Dre intro music instead of Ghetto Boys.
Yeah, J2 Mirez or whatever. I just like calling him J2 because I just like that. But
yeah,
I just call him Jay. It's Josh, but which I didn't even know that until TiVo said it. I just call him Jay.
Sparks Dr. Dre. What are you doing, Porsche? Why are you getting all curled up?
Well, that's probably the wrong printer. That's why it's not working.
For the wrong printer? How many printers do you have?
It's an old printer that's like still, I haven't deleted it.
My printer's all jacked up. I'm going to have to do something about it so I can print off some sheets. Actually, I may not even have to print off any sheets. I think I have a bunch over here still. Let me look at that. Let me look and see if I still have.
Can you print me some off? Oh.
Yeah, like that would help.
And then email them to me? Oh, wait.
Where's Caroline at? She can jump on here with us.
I don't know. I guess she'd be off work by now.
J2 sounds doper.
J2 sounds
Doper.
Doing dope.
Don't print on both sides.
Guys, I'll be right back. I have to get a water.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I think I do have. Yeah, I have a few sheets here if push comes to shove, but I won't need any probably. I got plenty of NPCs.
Nah, I got the right printer this time. When does the shooking?
I'm actually really hungry, so I might take you guys in there to do that. We're just dicking around. See, here's the thing. Like I said, I'm here when I don't go to the gym. I am here by myself from like 2:15 till like 7:30, and like so I can do lots of stuff on my channel that people don't normally get to do because they try to like, overlap.
Yeah. No, like I said, tomorrow I'm like, I've got nothing going on because it's Mardi Gras. So school's closed and clinics closed.
Man.
So
in Ohio.
The whole city is apparently like taking the day off or something for Mardi Gras. Jesus. But then we're not actually having Mardi Gras.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I think. See, this is my opinion on that. The further out we get from all this stuff, the more people are just going to do their own thing, and that's honestly how it should be at a certain point.
Yeah, I mean they're doing. I think in the city park they're doing like the floats are there, and it's more like a drive up kind of thing. You drive by the floats.
Okay.
I mean, that's not like
they have the floats in
Gras.
place, and you just drive past them. What difference would that make? Just do the freaking parade.
Yeah,
because then people are in cars, not like that you're not all together. Mardi Gras was probably the biggest spreader event in Louisiana, like for the first 6 months of the pandemic. And so I think that's still like fresh in people's memory.
I could get that because it was still brand new. It just happened.
It was, yeah. Like they had the worst here probably at that time until New York surpassed them. But yeah, so I can see how like the events that after that, a lot of people died, that would make them hesitate on doing it again, especially when it's starting out at a higher level right now.
Yeah.
So you guys good to hang for a little longer, or you guys got something you got to do?
I'm good forever.
I can hang for a little bit.
Yeah, cool. I was hoping maybe Wesley would jump on here, or
talk about anything.
Ugh. Got my sheets printed for tomorrow.
That's awesome. So how does it feel having it in your hand? Does it just feel like a piece of history?
Oh my!
It's a piece of future history.
It's a future state.
Sparks future state.
What is that?
It's from Sith. It says, in honor of Travel and Root Beer's upcoming Dungeons and Dragons campaign, I present this bad boy who lurks in my front yard. That's dope.
Okay, I'm pulling up so I can see too. Yeah, that is really cool, actually.
Dang.
Sometimes Sith sets up like toys like in his yard to make him look like.
Oh, nice. Did you guys hear about the what was it? There was a gargoyle. I was on somebody's front porch, and it was like decorated. No, I don't even know if it was decorated for Christmas. There was this whole thing where the neighbors like, that's satanic, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't represent the spirit of Christmas. You need to remove it. And so they went all out decorating, like, it was like, it was a Karen, essentially. That was like.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, I'm not exactly known to be the most, I don't know, religious. I guess. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen. If you guys ever noticed when I'm sitting on the couch, you guys like there's like a hand behind me or like a leg. That's what it is you're seeing behind me.
Oh.
Hey, is that from your comic?
Yeah, my web comic. Yep, yeah, that's supposed to.
Nice.
Web comic.
Yeah,
it's on hiatus right now because the illustrator. See, I'm a writer, but my illustrator that I work with, she's got some serious family problems going on. So I'm letting that kind of ride. It's not necessarily a dead comic, but it's indefinitely on halt.
I'm apparently on chapter 15. I still have the tab open. I just haven't read it in a while. I started reading
really? I didn't know you were reading it.
Yeah. You shared it. I don't remember when, and that's why I've left the tab open because I don't know how to find it again.
Oh. It's on. I mean, there's a link on.
It was during your and Al's stream, I think.
Where can I read that?
I don't have a way to pull it up right now. I guess I could.
Here, hold on. Let me find the you.
Here, I'll get it.
You got it?
Yeah, I'm on my wife's computer, so it's not like saved on the bar or whatever. So I gotta go. I'll find the actual. Oh, that's right. I can't figure out how to copy paste on her computer.
Hold on, I got it.
Okay, yeah. I hate how that is like.
It's probably gonna drop you in the middle of it, but
if you just go to the menu, click on the menu, and it'll take you there where you just.
Well, I just don't want to forget where.
Oh.
So it's gonna be. Hold on, we're probably gonna echo for a second.
Yeah, if you just go.
There we go.
All right. Yo, Wes, what's up?
There we go. So it'll probably take you to like chapter 15, but hey, Wes.
Figured I'd jump on.
Cool.
I was in a different tab, so I didn't even see you pop on.
Yeah, so Sparks, yeah, it's fun, right? Like it's just its own thing, Like
yeah,
the webcomic I'm talking about.
Yeah. If you're talking about D&D, I mean that works too.
Well, we could do a D&D scenario of my webcomic.
It's interesting because, like you're saying, you're not religious, but you're talking like a lot about religious stuff, but like a twist on it, which is pretty cool. Which I'm not religious myself either.
So it's kind of like Preacher, how they have those religious themes but make fun of it almost.
This is saying your YouTube channel.
Reading a devil webcomic. What's the new? That's awesome. Yeah. No.
Is there a volume 1, chapter 1?
Yeah. If you just click on the menu of it, like it's just chapter 1, and then there's volume 2, chapter 1. You have to go back to like because it goes in like order of how new it is. So you want to go back to like the first page.
The menu's like at the bottom, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see where. Okay, so I'm on chapter 15 of volume 1. It goes to chapter 20 for volume 1, and then there's 3 chapters for volume 2.
Chapter 15. I'm trying to think of what that even is.
I don't know. It's been a little while since I've read it.
The first thing that comes up is Volume 2, Chapter 2.
I've never really messed with this like tab thing either.
Yeah, if you go all the way to the bottom, there should be like a scrolling thing that you can go right to the start.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's better in the app probably too, but But yeah, I have a physical copy of Volume 1. You can get a deluxe version of it on Amazon.
Nice.
Oh, I got it.
But we had just got the ball rolling on Volume 2 whenever Maggie had some family stuff pop up, so she is on indefinite hiatus. I honestly, here's the deal. I don't want to go on without her because we've worked together so well.
You want to keep the art consistent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's not so much the art thing. Like that wouldn't be it. It's that she had a huge impact on making the comic. It's my story, my characters, but she definitely helped the direction of it.
Okay. That's pretty cool though. All right.
Any questions about that character sheet in front of you? Maybe Wesley can answer something better than me.
I'm looking at it now. I'm trying to figure out where I put that I'm a wizard.
Yeah, I've got a handbook right here too.
You guys say, man, I have made so much money for D&D in the last week.
Like, do you have any stock or?
No, but maybe I should.
Before
maybe Peach Momoko can pick it up. Yeah.
Okay, so wizard's the class. So that goes up here. I'll have that part filled out. So there's character name and there's player name.
You're using pencil, right?
I am using pencil.
Okay, that is an ultimate.
Yeah, because you'll have to erase stuff.
Ooh, okay.
My wife sat down for the first time with a D&D character sheet and instantly started writing with pen, and everybody went.
Strength is set in stone. You cannot get any stronger.
Use whiteout.
Oh boy!
But I'll tell you what, man. You can go ahead before we even do the NOLA stream tomorrow. You can go ahead and go on there and start filling in details about your character, like the stuff that you know, like where. Look, if you've looked on the back and all that kind of stuff, there's a spot for all that kind of
appearance, backstory, treasure.
I just love how you want to be a wizard, though.
I mean,
what else would start?
Especially after the idea that you sent me of what we could do. I don't want to spoil it.
Don't spoil it because I want it to be a big thing in the first session that I'm going to do with it.
Yeah. No, I just that sold me on the idea. So I was looking at the different magic users. Like you said, there's multiple types of magic users. And I was looking at what was the one I was looking at? Not sorcerer, but warlock.
Yeah.
Just Eldritch Blast everything.
I've only played with one other warlock, but it was interesting.
I liked the idea of bargaining with some entity to have my power.
Oh,
yeah.
Unlimited power. I could see.
So, have either of you read Die?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
But I want to.
So definitely check it out. There is a character that is definitely a warlock in that. She constantly is pleading with her. I'm pretty sure she owes the god something still, and was like, "Hey, we need to do this now," and they were like, "Fuck you," essentially. And so I think she was pleading with a different god.
Interesting.
So that whole idea I like, but at the same time to be more in line with Harry Potter kind of style of magic, gotta go wizard, right? You gotta have studied it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because wizard, you learn it. Sorcerer, you're born with it. And then warlock, you get it from someone.
Yeah.
Or tied to an item or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. But then also, there are characters that use magic that aren't that. Like Rangers do use some magic.
Monks.
Paladins use magic.
Yeah, that's religion.
Monks actually don't use magic.
What? I swear I just was looking at it and I was talking about magic.
No, monks are all about the martial arts.
Is there a class that doesn't use magic?
Yeah, almost all of them do.
Fighters,
rogue, barbarian.
Fighter, rogue, barbarian, cleric. Well, cleric uses magic. What am I thinking? Yeah.
So the reason I thought that they use
Cleric's a
magic
good mix.
is because on the monk page, the first like subheading is the magic of key. But I'm assuming that's actually probably like a Tai Chi kind of thing or something. Yeah, monks harness this power within themselves to create magical effects.
But it's not actual magic.
There's some magic. Maybe it's like sparks and like auras and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess the most adverse to magic would be like a barbarian. Like they're just straight up not going to use magic. Like,
aren't they just not smart enough?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the thing too. You're gonna learn this tomorrow in more in depth. Is when you're rolling up a character, you want to roll a character that stats that you roll. You want to have it fit your character type to beef up those strengths.
Yeah, so that some of that stuff's all random, right?
You'll see. I don't want to go too much on that because Nola can explain it better than I can, and that's why I'm able to go with Nola. I actually don't know that much about character creation and leveling and stuff, despite being a DM. That's more.
You're on the other side of all of it. You're not on the player side as much.
Yeah, that, and then also, I'm more on focusing on world building and stuff like that, where I don't really think in those terms outside of when we're actually making a character.
Yeah, you're more on the storytelling side, not the rules.
Yeah, and I can run NPCs and all that kind of stuff. But
no, because I was flipping through like when you get to the like the traits and stuff.
Since we got 3 people on here, I'm taking you guys to the kitchen. I'm actually really damn hungry.
Oh man! But I was looking at like it's so like if you were to say that you were a criminal, then
now
you
here's the cooking segment that Sith wanted.
It's Sith. Yeah. No. I'm going. Wait, hold on. Did you say I'm going to play a Pikachu character who got pulled into the D&D universe?
Well, I'm going to play a D&D universe that got pulled into a Pikachu.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. No, but it looks like all of these different like character traits, you roll a d6 or a d8 to decide which trait kind of happens.
That's actually true, Sith. There is a such thing as having a co-pilot DM, and I asked Nola if he wanted to do that, and Nola understands that is a thing. You met Garrett whenever he came to town with me, Sith. Garrett was my co-pilot in the last one.
I like the Office reference there, if that was intentional.
Not assistant DM, assistant to the DM.
Yep.
I don't even know what I'm going to eat, man.
I hope that was intentional.
You hope you're just not that obsessed with the Office. Right?
Honestly, other than like randomly catching reruns, I can't talk. Other than catching that, like I've only watched The Office once.
I've never seen it.
Same. I only watched it once.
I binged it on Netflix once.
I have never seen The Office. My mom liked it.
Now you have to watch it on Peacock.
Wow.
Peacock?
Yeah. That's NBC's streaming thing. You can watch the first 2 seasons on there, though, for free without paying for it. I might know a little too much about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're...
Just spitting facts.
Well, because it disappeared from Netflix. You know, it was always on there, and you're like, well, I could watch it again whenever because it's on there. And then I was like, okay, where did it go?
Yeah.
And so I looked into it.
Okay,
yeah,
so
Netflix isn't going to spend $1 billion to keep it on there like they did with Friends.
Sith is protesting until you watch the Office.
Well, I am. We're at the 2 hour and 30-minute mark, so everyone go on an hour political rant. Go. No,
Oh boy. I didn't know that was the trigger point.
I do like how that's actually been happening on some people's channels here lately.
Yeah. Star Wars based political rants, but
Star Wars based political rants, like it's like within the context of like their
So I've had it with the Empire.
the Empire is bringing draconian measures down on us. I cannot stand for this. We need to remove the Emperor. Those guys with the lightsabers seem to know what to do to get rid of them.
Those guys with the lightsabers. Well, too bad they're all dead.
Those people and their hokey magic.
Your sorceress ways don't frighten me, Lord Vader. Your sad devotion to that ancient religion has not helped you conjure the stolen data tapes.
Now it's just the quote train.
What?
Man, so
Now it's just going to be quote after quote.
what race should I be?
I was gonna ask you, what do you want, man? Like,
I don't even know.
I tell you this:
Man.
humans and elves are both really adept to that. Wesley, what do you think about that? Like, what are race types that you know are more adept to magic?
Elf
Gotta
is
be
probably
a
the best way to go. Now, depending on which subclass of elf you want to do, too. But
Wait, say that one more time.
Yeah, I didn't catch it.
elf would probably be the best way to go, and then depending on what type of elf, like if you want to do wood or high elf or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
Chavo,
dark
I love
elf.
that. I love that Ohio State behind you. He just zoomed over there.
He's like, you have food. I'm here.
He doesn't get his headbutt. Hey, push.
What about a
Push.
I don't even know what this actually
Watch
is.
it, guys.
A tiefling?
Oh, tiefling would be like a demon, kind of. Tieflings are cool.
Oh,
People tend to be suspicious of tieflings.
Mhm.
Shopkeepers keep a close eye on their goods when tieflings enter their stores. You know, I don't know if I want to be a tiefling because that makes this seem like it's going to be a little bit harder.
No. None of the races are that difficult unless you pick something like if you did a race that's not a predetermined one in the handbook, you can do that.
So you could be like a Star Wars race.
No, I mean like you could be like a goblin.
Oh wait, well, what?
Like you could be a goblin. Get the hell out of here! What the hell are you doing?
A goblin?
He looked over the laptop like
Yesterday,
no, what I'm
Doyle.
saying is you could be one, but there's not stats for it in the player's handbook. We would have to amalgamate something.
I will be a mountain troll wizard.
Sith, what are you thinking of being? I mean, obviously, we're not going to hold you to it because it's like a month away. But
Earlier, he said a lich mage,
what?
something like that. A mage lich.
Yeah, he wanted to be a lich mage.
No, we're not doing that.
That's what he said.
He did say that earlier. I don't know if it was a truth thing that he was saying or Sith just trolling in the chat.
So I told Jeremy this before, but I'll say this now, and I'm sure Wesley, you've seen this. I'm a DM that does not allow people to play purely evil characters.
Yeah.
You can be neutral evil, and I'll allow you to be lawful evil. But you can't.
What is neutral evil?
It means that you err on the side of like dark tendencies, but you're not. You're not out to like fuck everybody up. Like you're not.
Yeah, you're not going to kill everybody, but if, say, robbing somebody would help you, you'll rob someone.
No,
Amalgam.
That doesn't mean that something in the game can't make you become pure evil. I have done that, but you can't start off as a chaotic evil character.
Okay.
And you can't be. If you're a lawful evil character, you need to play it strictly to being lawful evil.
So he's saying a drow fighter.
Oh, cool.
Something.
I'll allow drow. A lot of people say that drow is just evil elf. Like no, not necessarily.
Dark elf, yeah.
Like if you've ever played Warcraft, you know.
Oh, I see. Dark elf is a drow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, so I'm looking. I'm trying to find. So to help with like magic, you want increases in intelligence and what else?
That's a
Depends
Wesley
on the
question.
class.
So I gotta flip back and forth. There's so much. Like I want to read this like cover to cover, but I know it's gonna take forever.
Actually, it won't. I think I read the entire player's handbook in 2 or 3 sittings.
Well, a lot of the back is just lists of spells too, so that takes a chunk out.
And you don't have to read every single thing about each one of the characters. In fact, I told Caroline the other night, I told her don't even bother trying to read everything about the race. Read the other stuff in the book first.
Well, yeah, I guess I could look at because I'm already set on my.
You're gonna be a wizard,
right? So I really just have to look through the races, decide a race that I want, and then start looking at like the stuff after that for tomorrow.
And what spells you want to use too.
You know what's really hilarious is last night these guys are like ordering their books and everything, or they're getting their books, and I'm getting messages blowing up on my phone. I'm getting messages from both Sparks and Caroline saying the exact same discussion. Like, she's asking me about what kind of magic character she should be, and Sparks is asking me what kind of magic character. And I'm like going back and forth, and I'm replying the same answers to both of them.
And then we were having our own conversation about which magic character we should be.
That's what they're calling it these days, huh? All right.
Was Phil also messaging you about which magic character he should be? Because wasn't he supposed to get his book yesterday?
Phil got his today. Lewis got Phil and Lewis both got theirs today. You guys got yours yesterday.
Man, so
And then
it was on like much better. So we all ordered like the same time, pretty much, like the same day.
Yep, that's awesome.
But Amazon was like, "Hey, Sunday, let's deliver." Crazy.
Wesley, what kind of characters have you played with? Like, what kind of characters have you been in D&D?
Almost everything. I think Cleric and Warlock are the only two I haven't really played. But my main is I like Fighter and Rogue a lot.
Yeah, I've actually been a Rogue before, and I've ran an NPC Rogue.
What is a barbarian fight like?
Ape shit.
Run into battle and get out.
I think that would be my character.
The thing about it is you're going to be able to take a lot of damage.
Yeah, and you can Barbarian Rage.
Oh, there's Caroline. The one that destroyed everyone in the RPG.
I should mention now, one thing you need to keep in mind, Sparks, and you'll when you're rolling your character up, you need to consider this. Wizards are the weakest starting character. You can die if you're not.
Yeah.
I actually, the last time I played, excuse me, I actually have played one time since the last time I DM'd. And it was my first time playing a wizard, and it took everything I could to survive the first couple levels.
So, I mean, my character in the Star Wars one, though you weren't going to try to kill us in the first like session or two, was probably one of the weakest characters starting.
It was. You and Phil were the weakest.
Yeah. So I can do it.
Yeah, Bard's also pretty weak.
The way I balanced it, though, was you had the ability to do something about it because you are an action guy. Phil, his character was built more along the structure of influencing the game despite his weakness.
Yeah.
Like through charisma and stuff.
Yeah, I mean he's the bard of the Star Wars RPG.
Yep.
Like that's I figured that much out.
Bard?
Yeah, he might not do the fighting, but he helps others do the fighting better.
Yeah. And I mean, didn't he get a fighting level up or something recently, like hand to hand?
Yeah, because he got that arm, which gave him some bonuses.
Yep. Yeah. He could break out of stuff.
Yeah. So, wait.
Come on with us, Caroline. If you're going to get into this, you might as well talk with us.
So, did he... Why did he not get a bonus then when he was trying to break out of the stuff that Caroline...
He did.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Because here's the thing. He was cuffed, right? And I told him, you're using one arm. I said, you get half of your bonus on that because your hands are behind your back and you only have one arm like that.
Gotcha.
Oh, cool. Caroline's going to join us.
Sweet.
We're going to have some
primary with Warlock secondary. Oh, hey, Sean's here.
Sean, man, what's happening?
Got the whole crew here.
All of my favorite inner circle people.
So these different schools, school of conjuration, school of divination, enchantment.
I was school of conjuration with mine.
School of illusion.
No,
So
I wasn't. I was illusion. Forgot about
do
that.
you pick one of those schools as your background?
Yes, and as you level up, you'll get the attributes of that school.
Okay. So I got to figure that out.
You always want to read ahead. I'd read ahead at least the first 5 levels of each character.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also the scaling thing, right? I was telling Caroline this last night. So you got to think of it like this. A level 1 character is someone who's been trained in their class. So if I'm a level 1 barbarian, I know how to be a tough guy.
Right? Brother?
I saw that. Yeah. If I'm a level 1 wizard, it means I graduated wizarding school, but I have no real world experience.
Yeah.
Right?
Fresh out of Hogwarts.
Yeah. Right?
Straight out of Hogwarts.
So level 2 is basically, hey, I have witnessed something happen. I have a better idea how to handle things, right? So from there, you get to level 5. Level 5 is considered the level of you are now proficient in your class. Like you can go out in the world, someone can say, that's a wizard. I need that wizard's help. Something like that. Right? Okay. 6 through 11 is like that's the path that gets you to you're a professional. People seek you if they know about you.
Okay.
And 11 through 17 is you can go to a random region and there will most likely be people who recognize you by your name and stuff. So like, let's say you get to level 17, almost anywhere you go in the world, people are going to know who you are. If you get to level 20 and if you do classes beyond 20, which that's debatable how you should do that, right? That's like when you start fighting gods and stuff. Like you're on the par with that.
Sweet. So I am Dr.
Tiamat comes down and just challenges you.
What's that?
Just the dragon god starts showing out of nowhere.
Like they're seeking you because you're on par with them.
Nice. Yeah, so I was saying I'm Doctor Strange and Dormammu's coming and challenging me.
Yeah.
So, multi-classing, because that's another thing Caroline asked me about. I'm going to go ahead and address that.
I saw, she was mentioning a primary, secondary.
So here's the thing. I allow multi-classing. Not every DM does. But you have to go rigidly with this. And Wesley, you probably know about this too.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot take on a second class until you've reached level 5 with your first.
Yeah, that's usually what it seems to be.
Yes.
That makes sense.
So you gotta have that solid base in the one class first.
So here's the thing, too. You can train other characters things, right? So let's just say we're playing a game, right? And I'm a barbarian, and I'm a badass barbarian. I'm almost Conan level, right? And Sparks, you're a wizard. And you're like, man, I just keep getting my ass kicked when I'm in a situation where magic doesn't help. I could take you out and start training you once, as long as you're level 5 or 6 or 7, whatever it is. I can train you, and now you have level 1 barbarian skills.
Gotcha.
So then you level up from there. You can go, I'm a level 6 wizard, but I'm also a level 2 barbarian.
Yeah.
Right?
So if you did a super long campaign with this character, could you master more than 2 classes?
Yes and no. There are DMs that allow that. I will not allow more than 2.
Okay.
And
makes sense. I feel like you can only learn so much.
They cannot total more than 40.
Right. You could master both classes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I will allow it to go up, from there. But you can get to 20 with 1. But to put this all in perspective, man, like leveling is so much different than what people think it is. Like I personally have never had a character that I've taken from level 1. I've never gotten one past level 7. And I have an NPC that I created. You'll meet him. I wrote that character up as a level 8. He's been well played and on many missions, and I have never reached level 9 with him. That's how much the scaling is.
Well, because it also depends how your DM assigns experience too.
I'm pretty flagrant with it. I give experience a lot. If you play your character good, you get rewarded. That's when Hela and Darth Vader show up and start arguing back and forth who gets to kill who. Tiamat Asmodeus Orcus. Gomez from East Meets West. Why would Gomez be the NPC?
I'll be right back.
Oh no!
Wait, oh, never mind. I'll wait till you come back.
Hold on.
I don't want to leave West by himself. He's just staring.
I'll just entertain everyone.
Mother skunka! You need to make an NPC that just runs in, yells that, and just runs away.
You're walking down the forest path, and out of the bushes, you hear
Mother skunka! You look at and Gomez is laying there. Gomez runs away.
What happened to Kid? I saw him just like blip out.
I don't know what happened. Something's going on. His brother was running around like
he was running amok,
half dressed. I'll be right back.
Okay. So yeah, so I'm glad you jumped on there because you definitely can answer those things better than me, and you probably played more recently than I have.
Yeah, probably.
When was the last time you played?
3 months ago.
My last time before the Star Wars one was March.
Nice. Like DMing or as a player?
As a player. Kid's parents were watching the stream and are taking Star Wars with him. Talk about them adult film stars.
And those naughty comic books.
He's all about the Vampirella, so I was like, oh man, I gotta show you Betty Page. Oh, me? I like to DM, and it's not a matter of just whether I like it better than playing. I do like playing, actually, but when you become a DM that people tend to like, which apparently that's the case, like so everybody's buying their books to play my games.
Yeah.
When you become a DM that people like, you tend to gravitate to being a DM a lot because not everyone can DM.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're even a halfway comparable DM, you end up. Have you ever DM'd?
Twice.
How'd it go?
Pretty good. I mean, I did just some pre-made adventures, obviously to start out with.
Good.
Yeah, went pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can get a power pack campaign going.
I want that so bad. I want that so bad.
Well, Joey's down for it, so we'll have to talk.
Yeah, and you'll have to DM, and they'll have to be your underlings, and then you'll have guests. But that's the best way to do it, rather than keep piling people on. Like, I want people to guest play, but I don't want there to be. I don't want 12 people on this thing. Like, that ain't gonna happen. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do that. That would be the quickest way to tank this whole show.
Yeah, because by the time you get around to everyone, it takes so long.
Yep. Even with guest players, I will probably cap out at 8, including myself, probably. But I mean, let's think about it. We're talking Sparks, Sith, Nola, Caroline, Lewis, Phil.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 6 right there. Is there anyone I'm not thinking of? No. That didn't include him?
I think that's everyone, yeah.
Yeah, and then like I said, Al, he's welcome to jump in and do whatever he wants, but 6 is good. 6 is the upper limit of a typical game, but 6 allows it where we can still have a guest player come in.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing that at all. Some DM can lack and make up for it with action. What are you doing? He's walking around meowing like he's not getting attention.
Yeah, the most I've ever played with is 7, and that was starting to push it.
It's pushing it, isn't it?
Yeah, because like combat, by the time you get through everybody's turn, it just takes so long.
Yeah. Copy. I said Lewis. He's in the 6. By the way, hi, Copy. I saw you pop in a minute ago, but we actually, okay, so you said you should do a Power Pack D&D. They actually are. They're so interesting. A kid was talking about buying the player's handbook, and then I guess Joey said he'd be interested. I'm trying to get them set up with their own game, and then we can cross each other. And yeah, you're right. Characters can carry over.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Leslie. Yeah. We can coordinate DMing too. Like I can coordinate things with you that would carry over.
Yeah. Because it could be like, oh, I heard about this other adventuring group.
Or not the head of Vecna.
I could straight up like coordinate something with Wesley where you guys like are competing against each other.
Oh no. Man.
Caroline's right though. 6 is a solid number. 4 to 6.
Yeah.
I would never want to party less than 3, except for I want Power Pack to do a 3 on their person. I want to see that happen.
Although, yeah, like Caroline said, crossover episode. If we had like both groups together one time or something, even if we weren't competing against each other, if we actually like were working together to like complete something,
yeah.
And Doyle's done. That would be actually kind of cool. So that'd be like a massive group that time. But
yeah,
it's like this. If somebody came over to guest from there, they could go off and you guys could send letters to each other.
It's like my friends that I met on this other adventure, and now I'm over here with you guys, but I still talk to them.
Yeah.
Probably with Roger DeButch. We've talked about doing the DeButch and Roger before, but no.
Roger DeButch and Harry Old Fat Guy.
They're just their own thing, and somebody else is DMing them.
That would be
Nerdy Girl for DM
combo.
Nerdy Girl DM? Is that what you said?
Yeah, for that group.
Oh man.
Just have Sid do the DMing. I played D&D Mute Shield Wars as a kid and had 40 characters fight and see who lived. Oh my god.
Oh man. You know what's gonna happen is I'm gonna create this character and like you said, I'm gonna be weak starting out as a wizard, and then I'm just gonna die the first session.
Yeah, die 10 minutes in.
Oh my god. I mean, he did say so when we did the Star Wars, like for his games, he doesn't want anyone to die in the very first session, so they get a little bit of use out of the character. So at least it lasts one time.
Yeah, because that's also where it's like you start playing, realize you don't like playing a wizard, so you just kill yourself off so you can make a new character.
Yeah, here's the thing: no one dies first time, and no one dies first session. See what I'm saying? So somebody comes in session 3 and that's their first time. But what I mean by that is I don't mean you can't die the first time playing with that character. I mean your first time playing. I never
like in general.
Yeah.
But so that would be the first session.
But
proper D&D.
That's not true. If everyone has played before, but we're starting a new game, I'm not going to let everyone die in the first session of that game.
That's what I mean. Like when we start the D&D game, we're not going to we're not going to die in the first round because then the whole story's done.
Third session is whenever it's anything goes. Like you fuck up, you're dead. Like second session, I still will be more lenient. I was this time, but the stakes were as real as possible when you guys were going after those pirates.
I mean, me and Sith almost killed everybody by not flying correctly.
Yeah, if that's how the Star Wars one ended, everybody dies because the ship crashed.
T-Rabbit, what's up, Troy?
Thank God Nola was there and ran up to the front and took the controls from us. What's up, Troy?
We lost Kid Kollector, and he's in the title of this stream.
Oh, it's been so far removed from the title for almost 2 hours now.
You were watching when I did the Pokemon cards, right?
It was 35 minutes of missing 401.
Hey.
I made it.
It was 35 minutes of missing 401. Then it was 20 minutes of Pokemon.
No, that took like 2 seconds. Like
10 minutes.
I gotta find I have a whole fucking binder somewhere.
This is McDonald's has Pokemon cards right now.
I'm fighting with myself over whether or not to go get it.
Yeah, so how many Happy Meals did you have to get for those, Sparks?
I bought 2 Happy Meals.
Did you get a Pikachu? That's the real
I did not get a Pikachu.
Yeah. Apparently there's a hack, like you take a flashlight and you like shine it and the paper is see-through enough that like you can see whatever that top card is.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
The internet knows everything.
So the workers are just sorting through all the packs,
flip
taking the good ones.
Well, there are shops that are somehow sold out already, and like you're seeing people sell cases of the cards on eBay for like thousands of dollars.
Jeez.
Who was it the other day? I think it was on the Nerd Herd stream. The guy was saying that like his wife is a McDonald's GM, and some guy came in and wanted to buy 500 packs.
You want to buy?
I mean, I'm sure too. Realistically, like if they offer enough money, that person would be like, "Yeah, absolutely."
I can't tell.
No, it's the other side. It's the back side.
So it's like seeing
you're right. You're right.
Because when you open it like that, the card faces you.
I
didn't spend way too long digging into this conspiracy theory. Nah.
So this is part of the 411 conspiracy theory now that this stream was originally about.
See, we've come full circle.
Okay. So now that we got Caroline here, Caroline, what do you know about Missing 411?
I have no idea. I don't know what this is.
So that's what me and Kid Kollector were originally doing, was a stream about Missing 411, because about 2 weeks ago on Sparks' stream, he was reading off an FOC about a book that was exactly like the Missing 411 conspiracy theory. But me and Kid were the only ones who knew about that. So we decided.
So tell me what it is, because I may have heard of it without knowing.
Wait,
it's trying to pin down an explanation of why people go missing in national parks in the way they do.
So I just thought of another thing that my friend that works at the national parks tells me. Apparently there's staircases that just show up in the woods.
That's a good one. The doors too.
Yeah, they're like, if you see them, he's like, I'm not kidding you, don't go near them. Like, we don't know why, but like, no.
Yes.
It's no.
Like, we're talking full-blown staircases. Like,
yeah, just random-ass staircases just in the middle of the, like, miles deep into the woods in like Jackson, Wyoming. And he's like, yeah, so we stumbled upon one, and his coworker started freaking out, and he hadn't had that happen before, and he was like, yeah, it was a big thing. Like, they had an investigation, like, all this shit. They document them.
Wow. So, quick recap on something me and Kid Kollector covered earlier was there have been instances of missing 411 cases where the person goes missing for like 3 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they find clothes and bones of that person, but it has weathered as if they've been missing for 20 years.
I mean, listen, I don't know anything about physics, so I'm not going to disbelieve the whole portal theory.
Yeah. And then the opposite has happened too. The opposite has happened where someone goes missing, right? And they're found like freaking 20 years later, but it's like fresh. Like it's like
I mean, that has more likely reasons as to like preservation of body.
Yeah. I agree.
Throw it on some ice for
a
decade.
You could if there's chemicals in the naturally occurring chemicals that could degrade the body quicker.
There it is.
What the hell? What happened?
You're muted. Oh,
and he's gone again. So close.
So Caroline, did you get to see our? Were you? Oh no, you weren't getting home. You didn't get to see our intro video, did you?
No, I got in. Y'all were already talking about D&D. I was like, oh, fun.
Okay, well, let's start. Okay, so I made a intro video for our RPG show, and Phil helped me do it. He did some cutting and pasting on with some things I couldn't do, but I'm going to go ahead and hit play for you so you can see it, and the new people in the chat can also see it.
Wait, I got to full screen this. Okay.
Hang on a second. Let me get this going here. Okay, new people in the chat. This will be our RPG show intro.
Welcome to a magnificent journey into the past. This is medieval time!
Oh, the dragon's balls ablaze, and as I stepped into his cave, then I sliced his fucking cockles with a long and shiny blade.
I am she, the my deadly mandolin.
I'm a wizard. When we play, we go all night, eating Twizzlers. Got my spellbook filed high, learning new tricks, shooting
blonde hair spills past her alabaster shoulders like springs of honey mead. Her full, ample breasts are barely covered by a sheen of magical elven chainmail. Leather leggings hug her butter-supple loins.
I want to have sex with her.
So, you're walking through the forest and... What? At forest, we were in a dungeon. And what about the evil wizard who was zapping everyone? He's done. What? He's done zapping. Now move along. So, you're walking through the forest. Dungeon. Okay, dungeon forest. Whatever. You're walking along. And you're walking...
But that's a burden you choose to bear when you can bend the very laws of reality with the power of your imagination. That's a gift to be respected and feared.
He was 10 years old when his cousins introduced him to a game, Dungeons and Dragons.
As I was killing things, killing people, animals, the more I played Dungeons and Dragons, and the more I got involved in Satanism.
I'm telling you, these people are Satanists. As I sit here, they are Satanists. Look, the world is full of these kind of things. Look at this. Black masses, mutilations, mutilation.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Once they get in here, it's over, pal.
That was amazing.
You like that?
Also, okay, what was that first clip from? I know I recognize it.
The Cable Guy with Jim Carrey.
Okay. I was like, I know I've seen that before, but I can't place it.
I love that Tenacious D clip.
Oh, yeah.
I tried to make a variety of stuff that's all relative, most of it having to do with D&D. Let's see what the chat thinks.
We got some Dexter love.
Yeah, I had that buried in a deep recess of my mind, but I was like, holy shit.
So you know what's crazy? That might have been my first exposure to D&D because
I was probably. I watched that growing up. That's one of my favorite shows. Just DD.
Let's see. What do we got here? Anybody comment? Oh, they're still talking about Nerdy Girl. I went too far back.
Way too far.
Yeah. Well, damn, that was quite a clip. Yeah, I think it's awesome. It was fun. I had a lot of fun making it, and like I said, credit to Phil for helping me cut some of that stuff. The more I started killing people and killing animals, the deeper I got into D&D, and the deeper I got into D&D, the more I got into Satanism.
I was gonna say, I love the Satanism connection because that was like a real thing.
Yeah.
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 I for one, am a Satanist because of that.
So, welcome to the first cult meeting.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, I'm Jeremy.
Yeah, Sean, that's actually what it's made for. That is going to be the opener for the Friday Night RPG show.
And I
the birds.
Next number of years.
T-Rav's talking about the birds, man. That's a great movie. He said once they get in here, it's all over.
Yup. I'm reading through the schools right now for my wizard.
Yeah, I only briefly went through the classes. I haven't even looked at race yet.
T-Rav, Troy, you're right. Several years before the birds came out, Tom Hanks was in a movie called Mazes and Monsters. It was his first major role. And it was about D&D warping kids' minds. It was a religiously funded movie.
So a propaganda piece about D&D.
So Tom was
I'm having a super deja vu moment. Did we talk about this the other day?
Mm-mm. That was Friday the 13th. That was a totally different thing.
Okay.
You're right, though. It was the same subject.
I definitely had a conversation with someone very recently about how there was a lot of religious propaganda related to D&D specifically.
Well, that might be true, but we did talk about Friday the 13th being funded by religious people to stop kids from having sex.
Okay. That's what that was. Okay.
Yeah.
The movie T-Rav's talking about is called Mazes and Monsters. And it's crazy. If you want to see Tom Hanks not be Woody, that's the movie you want to go watch.
If you want to see him not be me.
Not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of Toy Story.
Huh?
I'm not a big fan of Toy Story.
What? Get the fuck out of here.
Kick her out of the. Remove her.
It's like the one movie I never saw the fourth.
I actually haven't seen the fourth.
I think I've only seen 1 and 2. I don't know if I've seen 3. I just saw Monsters
I've only
University.
seen 1 and 2. I've never seen 3 and 4.
Andy is my age.
All
Andy
right.
was in
Yeah.
college when I went to college.
Yeah, that was like a whole thing for
The
kids.
connections
Like,
keep getting
yeah.
bigger.
Yeah. So like literally, like him going to college and that whole like that storyline, that was like I don't know, it was more personal.
Yeah, I remember because
Caroline?
Monsters U came out the same year, and I was getting ready to go off to college, and I was like, I'm gonna just not watch that right now.
Caroline Sith,
That was good.
we did have that conversation whenever.
Okay, so what was that?
Well, because the story with Sith's stepmom plus my own obsession with the occult is what made me want to use those clips specifically of a religious thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
There's
right.
crazier ones than that I didn't put in there. Like the one, like there's this one in the video. I sent Sparks this video where it's like a PSA that was like anti D&D, and it's like a D&D session going on, and the guy's like in a hood, and there's like all these cloaked figures around, and he's like, "You die," and he goes, "No, wait!" And all of a sudden you see like hands like grab his shoulders, like take it away, like, "No!" Like that. And then there's another kid.
That's amazing.
He goes, "The game continues." And then he's like,
the next guy dies.
Like yeah, and then he's like moving pieces across a board like it's a chess game or something. And he goes,
I mean, I did just knock all y'all out.
but he's like, I reached the deepest and darkest dungeon. I am now Lord of the Little People. And then he's like, he rolls the dice or whatever. Like the dragon has you in its mouth. Nothing can save you. And he goes, I must win the game. He's like, the only thing you can do to save yourself is to sacrifice one of your little people. Then it shows like the guy like out in broad daylight, like stalking a kid coming home from school.
Gotta get the blood in real life, not in the game.
And then what about the one where the guy's like, it's like this religious guy, and he's explaining. He goes, the game is obsessed with the occult, and some of the pieces that they play with are actually covered in 6s. And I've heard that if you throw them into the fireplace, they explode into a cloud with a demon's face.
I hope that's true.
That's what my wife said. When I
hope that's true.
The stuff that they're claiming happens, and D&D is awesome.
I've always wanted like the stuff that magicians use, and they throw it down, and it's like a puff of smoke, and you're gone. I've always wanted to do that in real life.
Spark probably has that stuff.
Like genuine life goal of mine is to correctly
Like
pull
the
that
ninja
off
of
at some
manners.
point.
The better thing to use is the
Oh god, he's showing
magic
books.
sand of blinding.
Yep, Sam. What?
That was the
Is that Murder
Hobo
Hobo?
stuff I was showing you earlier.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's a great
It's
book.
funny that you even had that before you'd even played D&D.
I just got that. Actually, so I realized I picked this up.
2 weeks.
This one I picked up, Caroline, even though you thought I got it from before you on that sale. This I got at the shop that one of the shops that me and Nola and Southern
Oh.
Company went to.
You got some. I swear you got a different book that I wanted. Or was it?
That one from the because we got those at
I thought you got that other one then. I was so sure.
I think I passed on this when they did it on the show. I'm glad I did because I got this for cover price.
Yeah, they sell it for like more
15,
expensive.
20. Yeah. That store
And of
had,
course,
I
it
think
doesn't
had
matter
more
what
reviews.
show it is. Sparks is showing books.
Always got a show
Yeah.
book.
No, I just had to show that ad. the sand of blinding.
What is going on with Kid, man? Like you're like popping in and out, you're muting and unmuting, you're changing shirts on it. There's naked kids in the background.
Okay, the way that just like flashed on real quick and back off.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the kid's brother just killed him.
Yeah.
What's happening?
This
I
is
agree,
a.
Todd Miller. I carry all the time anyway. There's no way I wouldn't with that shit going on.
He's got a nerve coming.
Just let them do what they're gonna do.
Yeah, no. Do what you gotta do, kid.
No interfering with siblings.
Here, I'm gonna play with our little viewers here. I want to see like, what's a better way to have everybody? is.
That usually, because the other one, if you go, can you get that other one? Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
that's not terrible.
yeah, that's all right. Usually, like when it's like
like
3 or 4
trash.
people, and it makes it like you just see like
Yeah, the real
the little
thin.
part of the head. That doesn't work very well. But in this view, that kind of works.
This isn't terrible.
It zooms in a little bit.
What is he doing?
He's like, don't have kids.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad I'm an only child.
Sis says that's too close.
That's too close. I mean,
can't see arm gestures.
Listen, what are you really coming here for, Seth?
I'm just experimenting with stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of different options.
For the face.
Now you just have to see more of my room.
How do I?
Yeah, we can do the Sparks photo shoot.
Oh, that's how you do it. I couldn't figure out.
You didn't know how to highlight that guy?
Highlight that guy. He's like, no, not me.
I think just drag. I get it.
Yeah. That's what that's why it takes forever when there's like 10 of us in a stream. Because it lags as you drag it over.
Oh man. Well, this turned into something I didn't expect it to. I didn't expect to have. I figured somebody would jump in. We didn't think, but I didn't know we'd have all this. I didn't expect Sparks. Didn't expect Caroline. I figured Wes might. I halfway expected Sean or somebody to come on.
Just get everyone on.
I would say it probably depends who's at work, but it's a holiday, so.
So my a friend of mine used to do indie music on YouTube. Like he would get groups of people to do like little indie show highlights and stuff. And whenever he first started getting like somewhat popular, he'd get like 30, 40 people in a stream, and he would go, "All right, everybody, I want you to go down the chat. Everybody sub everybody else. Now I want you to go down the chat and everybody file DMCA reports against each other."
Whoops.
Oh my God. System.
Oh man.
When are you debuting on Spine Tig? Oh, Sean. Yeah, Sean needs to go on there. Sean's an upstart guy. Like we've talked quite a bit in the last couple.
Well, get Sean and All Strands on at the same time.
All Strands too. I'm just now getting to know him a little bit, just from seeing him around and our little chats back and forth. But Sean, I've gotten to know. He's been on the channel. He's been on Sparks's. We've talked, but
yeah. All Strands hasn't done anything on my channel to get it taken down, so he's safe for Spine Ticks.
Yeah, he could be the new Kubachi.
Oh God.
This is supposed to be one half your stream, and you're not contributing anything but flashing lights.
He's giving us the real entertainment.
You have until 6:20 to figure your shit out, or I'm kicking you out of this here stream. I don't know. I'm not really going to do that.
It's only 5:13. Oh.
Oh.
My time zone.
It's
you got room for one more?
My time zone.
Yeah. I don't have the link. If you scroll back and see the link, or somebody can give him that because I don't have copy paste powers.
He's gone.
What was going on? What was he doing?
Oh, my brother.
Just being a brother.
Yeah.
See if I can. I think this will work. We'll see. We'll see here in a second.
Oh yeah, we gotta get Uncle Rudy and we gotta get Sean. Okay.
Because I don't have the share button on mine, but
yeah, I got you.
I'm copying the
I've
link.
got to figure out how the hell.
Are you a moderator, Sparks? Because
Yeah.
that's the only way you can put a link.
Sparks is, yeah.
Yeah. I got the blue wrench.
I like how I have a blue wrench on his, but I'm not in his description.
You are now.
You're not in mine, so I'm gonna have to fix that too. But,
I'm in no one's.
but you don't have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Your non-existent channel. Like,
I just
link
show
this to,
up.
like your YouTube user page.
I just show
It's
up
just
and hang
blank.
out. That's
There's
it. That's all
nothing
I
there.
do. There may be like some college nutrition video I had to make on there, but like that would be it.
Perfect.
would not be exciting.
Rudy has to be on Sparks 25 times without incident before spine ticks. I mean, he is, if he's in the chat on spine ticks, he is usually drinking. So,
or on an auction, forgets what he buys.
Yeah, that was hilarious. He was on Gary's auction and didn't even remember.
Oh no.
Well, I hope he got.
Did you just boot him?
No. I brought Sean in and it kicked him out.
And Sean appeared.
Shit.
It's the new kid.
You gotta change your name.
If I'm the new kid,
different.
We're going in the way wrong direction.
He went through one of those portals in the forest.
I think he's back. Hold on.
Oh man.
God.
So far I've got this filled out. That's it.
Your name?
No, just wizard.
Wizard.
Oh, man.
I don't actually even have my name listed yet.
I should print one
All
of those off.
So
I assume Wes, that would be my name, right? Player name, and then there's character name.
We already
I
know.
still haven't
from
picked
the
the Star Wars name.
We already know from the yeah. Did you make a Star Wars name?
No, I'm getting there. I'm bad. I can't commit.
So we already know from the chat that Sean Miller knew nothing about 411, but you do know a lot about D&D. So why don't you tell us your experience with D&D for these new kids?
My experience basically all started in the Army with D&D. I wanted to play in high school a little bit. Nobody really had a group. The couple friends that played was like hit or miss. And then I got kind of friendly with the guy in another company. Went over to his place a couple of times because he was telling me that a few of them would get a group together and just hang out and stuff. No idea that they were even playing D&D during these times. But it was like an ongoing thing. They'd already been playing for like 6-7 months. And then I jumped in and I was playing with them for about 3 until I ended up getting sent out to go do some training in another state. And then I just kind of lost touch. He got the guy who was the DM, he got sent to another duty station overseas. He went to Korea, so kind of dropped out. But that was my only experience with D&D was in the Army for those few months. Before then, my initial experience with role playing was actually Star Wars in junior high.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's really awesome.
It was-
You have a fair bit of experience with tabletop then.
Yeah,
I've heard there's a lot of people that play D&D in the Army.
I'm
Yeah.
sure there is. Man, there's a stigma around the tabletop community that is just non-existent. The Army guys don't do it. The Sporto guys don't do it. The girls don't do it. That's all bullshit.
Yeah. Total bullshit.
I mean, I would say, I imagine in the Army, if you don't have a lot to do, if you can play D&D as like that downtimes, it's a good way to fill it in.
In fact, when our whole
Well, it's something you can do that doesn't take up a ton of space either.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Got your
We were deployed.
Because the
We were
bunks are-
deployed down to Panama, and we were stationed out of Panama for just over. Airline went.
And froze.
Oh no!
Yep. There he is. But yeah, we got deployed down to Panama. Did about a month of training down there with jungle training. You really can't take much. You know what we ended up doing? We were taking rocks. We were writing on rocks for our dice.
That's an
We were just rolling them.
Nice.
So here, I always tell people this is the absolute minimum you need to play. You need a bag of dice. You need some note cards or pencil or paper and a pencil. That is it. If you have that, you can tabletop.
And now you don't even need.
You don't even need dice if you have a phone.
You don't need dice. You don't need your phone. You don't need paper. All you need is something to write on. You don't even need a pen or pencil.
I do recommend you guys get dice, even
Throw it
though
all here.
digitally. You're playing digitally. You should get a dice because if you ever decide.
My brother actually says he has some.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've got all mine right here.
I'm gonna buy some Wednesday when I'm at the shop.
If we all end up doing, if we all do it Comic Talks Weekly style and get the overhead thing, I'd rather us switch to that. But
I have to change my setup.
So can we do? Because I've seen stuff where like the Dungeon Master has like a whole map set out, like little characters and all that stuff. Would you be willing to commit that hard?
No. So we talked about this earlier. so here's the thing. Sith Lordly has a ton of miniatures. He's going to be showing stuff off on his channel, so be watching that. But here's the thing. The way I actually don't like using miniatures because it takes away from the theater of the mind. With that said, if we were to play in person, I use grid. I showed this off earlier. This is a writable grid paper. I'm going to try to find a way maybe to get it, I don't know, set up here. I don't know. I'm not going to go. I'm probably going to do it in the kitchen more. I like to do that where we draw, because there's, I'll go ahead and show Caroline. So this right here is basically a grid, right?
Yep.
And you do
and it's like a whiteboard, right?
And you just wash it off. Okay. So I like that.
That's convenient.
But here's the thing. With some players, and I'm not saying any of you guys would be like this, but I have seen this, where there are people who go so far down the rabbit hole of miniatures that it takes away from the game.
See, I kind of feel the same way with that. I feel that trying to use miniatures in like tabletop RPG like Star Wars or D&D, it takes away a little bit of the imaginative side of the story, because each person is going to relate to that story and start just picturing a whole world in their mind as they're playing.
Theater of the mind is theater of the mind
kind of forces everyone to the same.
Theater of the mind is my favorite D&D tool. Okay. With that said, like if we were to play in person, then the grid where we draw stuff out, where it's just a marker to show where everyone is and where things are.
Yep.
If you brought a miniature of your character, I would be perfectly happy with that.
Now, see, something like that would be cool. That's about as far as you should go with miniatures.
But I have seen, I swear to you guys, I have seen people that are just straight bitches about it. All right. And they'll say, you can't use that rogue. He has a crossbow. You clearly have a bow and arrow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't deal with that shit. Like, so,
and that's why I will never get into an organized group that meets somewhere outside, that like a shop or something like that. Because those are the guys that tend to get into that aspect and get a little,
if you want to
use my language, but anal about it.
If you want a more rigid system, you want to get into D&D Adventuring League, which is the official league that's hosted by Wizards of the Coast, the creators of Dungeon, not the creators, but the owners of it. That is by the book, by the rules. We got the official miniatures. We got the official set pieces. See, I don't want to build a set every single time. There are tools that I'll use.
Yeah,
that's a lot of work.
Yeah,
see, I couldn't do that either.
Miniatures. You fight a horde of goblins and then spend 10 minutes putting individual goblin miniatures out on the board.
So I've seen like Professor Comics. He and his friends do it like how we do it on a computer, but they use like just pictures to show like progression of like the journey.
And would you rather me say, guys, you have to go here, and this is the limitation, and then I've got to build a set for 20 minutes to do this? Or would you like me to say, what do you want to do? The floor is yours. And then you as a team decide where you want to go. And then I theater of the mind it for you.
I would much rather do that.
I prefer the world concept.
You prefer what?
All you really need is a map.
Like the whole open world concept, like go do whatever you want.
So we've been streamlining that more with the Star Wars thing. And I've been giving presets, but that's because that's still a very watered down version of the game.
Yeah, let's say that's like that world is more limited. Like we have to do something. There's a set goal versus this is more open worlded. We could go anywhere, complete anything. And you already know if we go to this part of the world, there are these things that we can do.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that there won't be things that will try to streamline you and funnel you. I will still do that, but it won't be like we've been doing with the Star Wars.
Right. Like I know there's probably an end goal in mind for the whole campaign, but it's not like this session you have this specific.
That's not entirely true. Yes, that is possible. Okay, to do what you're saying.
Yeah.
But the way I run games, I actually prefer the end goal to be a personal, individual thing.
Okay. Well, I guess because we kind of have individual stuff in the Star Wars one.
Yes.
When you've got your own backstory going on.
Yeah, I would rather the individual. Like if Sean came and played with us sometime, and he was only going to play for 3 sessions. Let's just say that. Then we could have him have a goal set up that he tries to accomplish, and you guys help him do it, and then he's done. Maybe he'll make another appearance one day.
Yeah, I mean, technically, mine was just get off the planet.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the session this Friday.
But it was something unique.
Yeah. I really like that session a lot. I had high hopes for it, and it actually met and exceeded in many ways.
I had a ton of fun.
I have an idea for my character's personal
but
goal.
I also want to.
What's your personal goal?
Well, I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna tell you.
Write it down and show it to him at the end. Like, put your date on it. Write it down.
I can tell you what one of his personal goals should be. Is going and getting to a technical trade school, learning how to properly fix a hyperdrive, so when it's time to leave, they're all ready to go in case something happens.
Oh man! No, I'm talking about this character that I'll.
Yeah, I know, but I think
my favorite times playing. I can tell you straight up, it was when we had absolutely nothing. We were in the mountains of freaking Colombia. We had no pens, nothing, no dice. We used a stick to draw out our maps right there in the ground.
Yeah,
it was freaking amazing.
Yep. So, Caroline, I hope that does give you a more clear answer about how to do that. Where it's like, I don't want you that might be considered going all out. But to me, it's more you're losing.
Yeah, it's limiting.
Anytime I've ever been at a table with full-blown sets of miniatures, it's not been that great of an experience.
Fair.
It's been.
I liked what we did. I didn't have any issues with it. I was more just curious.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to let you know about that. All right, Sparks is sending me something right now, so let's see. I'll tell the whole world what he's going to try to go for.
Relates into the backstory that kind of already talked about.
Oh God!
If Sid actually goes to try to make a clip out of that from earlier, you need to go and Photoshop that name out.
You like it, right?
Oh, good shit, man.
Now I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, now I'm a little curious.
Oh. Okay.
Is it just not die in your first game at level 1 as a wizard?
No.
I have grander goals.
Weakling
that is amazing. You better hope the butcher doesn't watch this.
Yeah.
He's a wizard. It's obvious what he needs and what he's looking
for. You're a wizard, Harry.
His precious. He needs that ring.
I'm not Smeagol going.
I don't think the butch is. I don't think he's.
Watching.
Roger's popped in a few times.
Roger, I think, just stumbled across us.
Yeah.
Probably.
Roger was like, "Well, everyone's hanging out. What's this? Oh God."
I don't know what's happening. What is this?
I will be right back.
Sounds good.
Speaking of the butcher, if we get Jay on to do some kind of show like this, you definitely have to have Sparks here. We have to have Harry Old Fat Guy, and you have to do some kind of Harry Potter RPG.
Oh my gosh.
Because he's going to be jumping up on one of those tables with a broom between his legs.
Yeah.
But don't tell him about it until you start. Like, okay, we're going to be in Harry Potter theme.
Yeah,
well, I to know his backstory.
I can't see the butcher even like doing any. I don't know.
Really?
Every time he walks into a village, all the dogs attack.
Granted, if he were to be allowed to make fun of it the whole time, I could see him doing it.
And
then
you know that would
Yeah,
be
he
by
his
the
doesn't
end,
take it
he
seriously.
from the start. From the start, that'd be his intention.
yeah. Maybe he'd actually like it by the end. I feel like he would. He is enough of a nerd. I mean, he talks about comics on YouTube, so
Yeah.
We're all nerds.
Yeah.
right. Like, so I think there's a part of him in there that would love it, but like the tough guy to butch on the outside is gonna be like, nah. Nah.
Oh, I've got a feeling
You
that
have to
he'd
crack
run
through
with
the
it.
shell.
He'd lay it up. He's good with it.
Yeah. Nah, he'd love it. He just wouldn't want to admit it.
I think
He's a
he'd
ranger
probably
with his companion Hank the dog.
Yes. And then he dies because his companion bites him.
Yes.
Oh no. Justice for King.
That would be awesome.
What school of wizardry should I go for? Enchantment and evocation are sounding.
Yeah, I was gonna say evocation sounds really cool, but also transmutation.
I don't think I want to go down the necromancy path.
But it would be so fun.
Resurrect.
Personally, I've always liked the druidic aspect of the mystical arts when it comes.
I really think I want to play a rogue warlock. I think it's gonna happen.
I like the war. No wait, yeah, I think warlock is
So
the one.
I want to do rogue with the thief, I think, and then go warlock with.
Right. I just heard the door
what
open.
decided, yeah.
And I was like, "What the hell's going on?" And I realized it's probably my wife, but she's home an hour early, so I was like, "What the heck?" But I thought I might have to grab my gun or something. But anyway, no, she just. It's snowing so bad here that they just sent her home from work like an hour early.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
Get out before it got even worse.
Yeah, it's really bad out right now. She's off work tomorrow, so that's good. I'm not though. I go to work at 6 a.m.
I won't rub it in to tell you what it's been like here for the past week. Then
My brother sent me a picture of the temperature today. It's 82.
yeah, I'll just say I've had the air conditioning on for the past week and a half.
Yeah.
So what's this I hear about rogue warlocks?
Yeah, so I think I want to start with a rogue.
Okay.
And do a thief. And then when I can, move into warlock as secondary, but I don't know what. I haven't gotten far enough.
So it's really funny.
Because I know you can do rogue with magic, but I like the concept that the thief is better for adventuring, and then I can still do magic by making a pact with some like creature.
See ya, kid.
Kids out?
Yeah. He did like a quick like piece, and then he just completely disappeared, and he just said he had a great time. See you later.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad he was part of this.
Caroline, it's funny.
Yeah,
we
we'll
were
have
talking
to
about
talk about
earlier.
the Power Pack.
We were talking about earlier how your character on the Star Wars RPG was a rogue, essentially.
Yes, I
With
like
all this
assassins.
So we were like, because we were talking about like the different classes earlier, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's funny that you're going down that route again.
When I play games, I tend to like put a lot of experience into sneak. Like one of
I don't
the
know
first one.
what Nola is planning for his character, but I have a feeling he's going to do something rather complex. Like something that I haven't seen much of. Lady Sith Lordy came in while I was gone.
Oh, hey.
Yes, she did.
Hey, lady. I'm not listening.
Kinmo also popped in while you were away for a second.
They were running
Something
around today
up.
looking for cinnamon toast crunch.
Oh,
Why
Cinnamon Crunch is the
There's
OG.
Pokemon
I
coming.
just
The
had
Pokemon?
Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
No, Captain Crunch. Is that what it's called? I just had that for like the first time the other day.
Cabbage Patch.
Wait.
No, the Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
So
Like
like
the crunch berries and whatnot.
you haven't had that before?
Cereal. I literally had it for the first time like last week.
Are you serious?
Wow. What?
I used to jump up and down and try to go to the bathroom, or try not to go to the bathroom in my pants while I was eating Captain Crunch cereal.
We were I did Cocoa Puffs and we did Cinnamon Toast Crunch a lot. That was our chosen.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, that was good. Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, man. The most legit.
No, I used to do the peanut butter Captain Crunch.
Oh yeah.
The Reese's Puff. Oh no, the actual peanut butter.
And then the Reese's one came out and it was better. So
yeah. Oh yeah. My roommates and I, we all had our own box of Reese's Puffs in college. Like we wrote our names on it and everything.
Yeah, that was the cereal.
Yeah.
I was an
For the one
odd
time
kid.
we eat cereal.
I didn't get into any of those cereals. Mine was like Wheaties or like Honey Bunches of Oats.
Honey Bunch of Oats, awesome.
Yes, I love that stuff.
Also, I'm good with a good bowl.
That
of
that was my brother's choice, so I would eat that a lot, and then I like ate it more as an adult.
So while I've got Sean here, even though nobody else is relative to the conversation, I want to hear what your thoughts are on Steins Gate. What? Why?
He doesn't like anime. Wait, what?
I hate anime. Absolutely freaking can't stand anime. And then I get this guy, beginning of the week last week. Oh, hey, I've got the perfect one you get into. If you don't like anime, try this out. I think you're really going to like it. And here I am halfway through the season.
It's awesome, ain't it?
I'm enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying it and completely surprised that there was an anime that I've decided to actually watch past a half of an episode.
But I was
What's it
right.
called?
I told you it's all about finding the ones that are right for you. That's like, and that's one where it's that like I think that most people would enjoy even if they don't like anime. There are others like we talked about the Rudy Kenshin up there, and
what did you say it was?
The one he's
which is the one you guys were talking about? Skyscape. What's it on?
Steins Gate. Yeah, I've got it there in the chat.
Steins Oh, Steins Gate. I see.
Yeah. So I talked to him watching. How many episodes are you into? Like you said halfway. That's pretty far.
Yeah. I haven't watched since Saturday, but I'm on episode 14, I think.
Oh yeah. So you are right at the halfway almost. Or you're a little over.
Yeah. Yeah, just over halfway. And surprisingly, I've enjoyed pretty much every episode.
How many episodes?
A little of them are a little slow, but
oh man, I really like this.
Probably like halfway.
Oh,
episode. Man, seriously, do I really have to go through and watch the rest of this now?
From the first episode?
And it's just like halfway through the third episode is when I started getting that feeling. It's like, man, why? Why do I have to get into this? It's an anime. Come on. Seriously. And then I just keep going and going and going another episode. And the biggest issue with it is I have insomnia. So I start getting into something like that and like sleep just goes completely out the window until I'm at the point where okay, it's still playing, and here I am, like my head's like 2 inches from the laptop, and I'm just out.
See, and for me, that show was one of those that, like I told you, like the first episode actually didn't reel me in. Second episode is what made me want to watch it all.
The first episode gave me enough to be interested to what might come next.
Same.
And that was about all I really got out of it. You get a little
Just
bit
remember
of
when you finish, you got to track down that bonus episode. Well, no, how many were on there? 25 or 24?
24.
There's the 25th.
Said there was 25th was the bonus, which wasn't on there. Which I'll probably just go and, of course, pirate it or try to find it on YouTube if it's on there.
Yeah.
And then from there, I'll go right back over to Hulu and probably go into the Zero.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm going to have to watch this now.
What's that?
I think I'm going to have to watch this now after hearing you talk about it.
Yeah, so you have a person who doesn't like anime at all that just totally just is talking it up right now. So it's really good.
And it's just ridiculous. Just the tiny subtleties that change.
Yep.
Just like you were saying, it's just those tiny subtleties. And you're just waiting for that moment where he figures out what that small change is. And it's like, oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're past the arc where his childhood friend got killed, right?
Spoiler.
No, it's not actually. It's not. You're past that because that's fairly early on, right? Where she got killed and trying to figure out what happened.
Flashback.
What was that? 6 or 7, I think that was.
Yeah, it's pretty early on. No, it's basically so the anime is a guy comes up with a way to send things in the past to influence the present and to change things, basically. And he gets this point where his friend gets killed, and they spend like 2 or 3 whole episodes where he keeps going further back in the past to alter things to stop. But no matter what he does, at that exact moment in time, she dies.
If you want to get a decent description, if you've seen the movie, which probably most people have, considering it's kind of like become one of those like little cult classic movies. Safety Not Guaranteed. It's got Aubrey Plaza in it.
I've never seen that.
Okay, Wesley knows what I'm talking about. Then, did you like the movie? If you like that movie, you'll like this. It's actually more in depth. You get a little bit more into the time travel end of it, so it's very interesting, and I enjoyed it.
So this episode, this is still very early on, right? This episode is he's constantly doing things to try to stop her from getting killed. So he'll travel back 3 days in the past, and he will just grab her by the hand and take off running, right?
I have seen Safety Not Guaranteed.
Huh?
I just realized I have seen Safety Not Guaranteed. Sorry. I had to look it up.
Taking off running, trying to get her out of there, right? They go as far as they can. Something still ends up killing him. So then he's going back like a month. He's going back like all this. And the episode just ends with him perpetually going back. The next episode after that starts off with him walking by himself on a primordial earth, trying to influence the future from that point to try to stop her from getting killed millennia in the future.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. And that's one of the first arcs of the show.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're liking it, man. Like I told you, like there are better anime that I think you would also like. We can talk about that when you're done with this one. But that is the one that I thought it's short enough. If you can get through it, you can at least say, hey, you know what? There is anime that's worth watching. So
yeah,
they exist.
There was a guy in the Army, and this was 20 plus years ago, late 90s, early 2000s when I served. So it's right at the height in the US when, anime just boom. A guy down the hall from me in the barracks, I swear to God, no joke, this guy from ceiling to floor, probably about like 6 feet across, nothing but just anime DVDs just stacked on shelves.
Wow.
And that's all he did when we weren't on duty, just sitting there watching anime and stuff like that. And yes, he ended up going into the risque side of it.
Oh,
that
God.
was like almost 2/3 of the DVDs he had, but to each their own.
That's a bit absurd, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'll be the first to tell you that most of them I don't like. I didn't get into hardly any of them. There was a handful that I liked growing up. I didn't get into most of the ones I like now until I was 25 years old.
Yeah. Like, I was a gamer from like the time I was like walking with like Atari and stuff like that, all the way through like the NES, PlayStation and all that stuff, and then into computer gaming. And as a computer gamer in the crowd that I was gaming and stuff, I'm like ancient. And for some reason, just that online gaming community just kind of goes hand in hand with anime. And you don't know how many times you just get roasted. For one, being old, and then two, just you don't watch any anime.
That one that you just recommended. I'm not going to try and pronounce it, but I have seen that one.
What anime?
The one you just recommended in the chat. I can't pronounce it.
The one you mean the one I asked, lady?
Mm-hmm.
Inuyasha.
Yeah,
Inuyasha
I'm not
it's
playing
not
that
what
game.
I would recommend to Sean Miller. I don't recommend things to people that I don't think they'd like. Inuyasha is one of my absolute favorites, but that's largely because it's one of the few long form
really
anime
good.
that's just as good at the end as it was at the beginning.
Okay.
It's really
I
good.
think
It's one
Sean
of the
would
few I've seen.
I think you'd really like. We talked about that. We talked about Kenshin.
Yes,
And Lewis
we
backed
did.
me up on that. Lewis liked it too.
Yeah. That type of like real world aspect into it, you know, the historical side into it just is fascinating.
Yeah,
I just love history.
me too. So that one is like it's all real world stuff, and the events are largely this. Actually, the events are exactly the same as they happen in history. There's just heavy embellishment on like what people would be capable of doing, you know.
Yeah.
But it's very good. That might be your next one to tackle because you'll probably chew on that one for a long time since it's like 100 and something episodes. But,
Yeah, that'll last a while.
yeah.
How long are those episodes? Like 20, 30-minute episodes?
22 minutes per episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe that one is actually on one of the stream sites too, but I don't know what.
I guarantee I could have
Do
something
you-
like that
so, side
in
note,
less than a week.
Huh?
When you're doing Warlock in D&D and you're picking your god, can you pick which specific god of each subtype you want, or is it
So
kind of considered all of them?
that's more of a NOLA question, but I'm going to say
Okay.
yes.
Cool.
I'm going to say
I
yes.
just saw that
because
you can pick Cthulhu.
The one time, well,
Sold.
the one time I had a warlock in my campaign, he told me to let him know what god it was, and I picked a god that existed in a specific adventure module that I was incorporating. And that way,
Because then it depends what gods are in what world you're playing in too.
that matters too. But
Damn, I just want Cthulhu.
I mean, I'll take that. This is going to be 90% homebrewed, so I can do whatever I want.
Will you put him in there for me?
Cthulhu can be in there, yeah. Or you know, here's the thing: you can worship Cthulhu, but that doesn't mean he exists.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair. Also fair.
But who's providing the warlock the power then? Unless it's a
The
god
ether?
that you think is Cthulhu and it's not Cthulhu.
I think it's
They
Cthulhu, but
pre-
it's not Cthulhu.
And you're getting to some Rene Descartes philosophy. But okay.
The god is impersonating Cthulhu.
Well, that or she's pulling magic from the ether, and she's actually believing in herself, and that's where the magic comes from.
Oh snap! You find out at the end you are Cthulhu the whole
I could do that. I could make
You are Cthulhu.
You know,
His dream
off
comes true.
topic from the D&D
You just start to
thing,
grow
but,
tentacles and then you realize.
life goals achieved.
recently,
See, I love this Cthulhu.
concerning like druids and such, just recently, completely off D&D and such, but they've just unearthed some new historical data over around Stonehenge.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh.
Finding some burial grounds that
What?
opens up just huge new rabbit holes into theories surrounding Stonehenge
Yeah,
and the other formations throughout England.
Aliens.
No.
Why do you want Cthulhu so bad?
I just really like the concept of it's one of those things like I don't believe in the lizard people, but I love it so much.
So, okay.
I don't believe in Cthulhu, but I think
Love
it's a
all of
great
Lovecraft
concept.
stuff is awesome.
So here's the thing, though. All right. I'm not going to pretend that I know that much about Lovecraft stuff either, but I know that a lot of people, they think they know Cthulhu, but then they don't know. Like, there's like a death cult around Cthulhu,
Mhm.
Yep.
you know? So,
Yeah, man. There's
so
some
is
dark
that
shit
something
around
we're gonna incorporate?
There's
I'll allow it.
We could go down that path. I wasn't trying to be that evil.
No, you can't. I'm not going to let you be that evil. But but that doesn't mean I'm not going to let you have an evil tendency and be part of that if you want it. I mean, it's up to you. It's your character.
if you're a fan of Scooby-Doo
I'll think about it.
and Cthulhu, there's a book called Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. It's like a Scooby-Doo kind of group, even down to the dog, but it gets dark, it gets Cthulhu-y towards the end.
Are they a Cthulhu murder cult?
No.
So they're going off and they're doing these things, and every time they take the mask off the guy and find out it's a person, kill him.
It's just a squid.
So like they were like
cut the head off.
They were kind of like a Scooby-Doo group when they were younger, and they did solve like a mystery in their hometown or something. But they've gone off to college, and something's happening though in their hometown again, and so they kind of reunite and try to figure it out. But it doesn't stay in the Scooby-Doo realm after that. But they do have a dog too, and the dog I believe is like the same kind of dog Scooby-Doo is.
The dog's name is Ruby Roo, right?
I don't remember the dog's name. It's
just
been
a
a while.
complete knockoff.
I don't.
What's a Great Dane?
But it's not Ruby Roo. I do know that. Ruby Roo.
A buddy of mine just used to call my dog Scooby all the time.
Scooby snacks.
So every now and again, I get just the other week I had the freaking Tom and Jerry Kids theme song in my head.
Huh?
Not Tom and Jerry, the Tom and Jerry Kids.
You know, it's either the end of this month or sometime next month that live action Tom and Jerry movie.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
What is HBO Max? Yeah, Sparks. Live action Tom and Jerry, and Chloe Grace Moretz is the main character in there.
Yeah, but the Tom and Jerry characters are like, they're not badly CGI'd in; they're just cartooned into the world. Like it actually looks pretty good.
Oh, so like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of thing.
Very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more like the Looney Tunes type of thing with the ones that they did 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah,
something closer to that.
Ken Jeong is
Tom
or Jerry.
Yes, he's the chef in the show because it takes place in a hotel, and Chloe Grace Moretz plays like concierge, and Ken Jeong is the chef for the hotel and such like that. And they get Tom in there to go or Jerry in there to go chasing after Tom, and you get King John chasing after little mouse with the freaking with the meat cleaver and everything too. It's
the guy that plays Lewis from Ant-Man's in there too.
Actually,
oh yeah,
Michael Pena.
He's using like a really kitschy accent.
Yeah, anything that's got Michael Pena or
I expect
Ken Jeong is just going to be just hilarious.
Expect a Ant-Man style summary of what's happened.
Yeah, they need to open every Marvel movie of just him recapping the last one.
I'd be down for that. Let's get this happening. We need a petition going.
Tom and Jerry, though, that's a really wild one for them to pull out of the ether.
Oh yeah, Space Jam.
I also kind of want, since we don't get Stan Lee cameos anymore, I want Deadpool just to cameo and everything.
Everything.
I've been waiting for
the camera.
Ryan Reynolds. I'm sorry. I'm so excited with the signing of that contract that he did.
Yeah,
because it's just it's the largest contract for appearances in the MCU that anybody's just signed. And with how early on he signed right after the acquisition of Sony and such, that it just makes sense that in a show like WandaVision makes the perfect opportunity to bring him in and just do some kind of cut scene or something like they did with the first episode. And this is how I see something like that happening. You had that guy from Sword coming out of the sewer, the manhole cover and such, you know. And I just see something like that, him popping in, you know, like this doesn't seem right. Where the heck am I? As he's just looking around and he talks to the camera and just says some oddball kind of thing.
I'm sure.
And then he just disappears again and then shows back up somewhere else. And then it leads into, you know, Spider-Man, and he does something there with all the, you know, the team up that you had with Deadpool and Spider-Man.
That would be awesome.
And the fact that they're keeping his solo movies rated R, what part of the MCU is going to be awesome too.
Yeah. I love that, and you know
that's the
that
right
just
move for them to make that character.
Yeah, you know, Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds was not going to happen if that wasn't part of the deal.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds was perfect for that role.
Yeah, from the start. There's hands down, there's not a single other person in Hollywood, new, old, that could have done justice to that character.
Yeah, and once he actually had the creative freedoms over the character, rather than his other
X-Men Origins version.
That was terrible.
And I do love the cutscenes, how he just went back and just totally wreaked havoc on his old characters. It was great.
Yeah. And he killed himself before he could accept Green Lantern.
Yes, he's sitting there with that script, and he's all excited, and just all of a sudden,
I love it.
Well, guys, we are coming up on the 4-hour mark. I am about ready to cut this, hang out with my wife for a little bit, but you guys can, as far as Sparks and Caroline, you guys can keep shooting me messages on IG about the stuff you're looking at.
Cool.
Tomorrow I'm streaming with Nola, and I know Sparks is going to try to be there. And that's where, and Caroline, you may not be available at the time, but you'll probably want to watch it because.
What time do you think you're going on?
Probably go on right at 4:30, if not 5, because
Eastern.
Yes, it's
okay. I'll be home. I get home at 3 tomorrow.
We're gonna do some stuff for her birthday, but then we're gonna come back and then.
Happy birthday!
Yeah,
so,
I'll
be off early enough tomorrow to go or to do it.
Cool. So 4:35 at the latest, probably, and it's gonna be Nola rolling up his character, and he's gonna teach how to do that, and then Sparks will be able to ask questions right then and there. Caroline, if you show up, that's all cool too. But I'm not gonna do a full blown Brady Bunch like I did today.
Not everybody can join.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Catch the rewind if you just now came in. Later.
Bye.